It's America's home for political play-by-play. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, August 10th, 2026. Welcome into today's Owen Report, your home for political play-by-play. The fastest 3 hours on the internet starts now. All right, guys, let's just, it's been an interesting day today, I have to tell you. Today has been an interesting day. We've had a lot of things developing. We've had some good stuff. We've had some bad stuff. I don't even want to get into the frustrations with StreamYard today. In fact, I was even on the phone with Rumble today talking about some technical stuff with them. They want to help, but unfortunately, they can't help the current problem. And we cannot switch the show to OBS. I'm not going to get into all the depth of these issues, but it is confirmed StreamYard is having an audio issue. Now, I have different workarounds that we can use today, but the point is, it's not even to talk about that. Just add it onto the list of frustrations. Here's the deal, guys. I've got news. We've got the normal news today. So, I'm sitting here, and it's Groundhog Day, right? Okay, it's the Iran war again. It's the Strait of Hormuz. It's the Iran war. It's Israel doesn't want peace. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And then I've got this new thing that continues to happen. And we've got another example or 10 that we could use today. Somebody takes a clip of the show and then will intentionally either take it out of context or intentionally misquote me. And it's like, whatever, people are dumb. People are lazy. So whatever. If they don't want to listen to what I actually said, if they just want to assume that this clip accurately depicts what I said or didn't say, whatever. There's nothing I can do about that. And then I'm blowing up because apparently they're talking about my hair again on the Alex Jones show. I'm just like, hey, whatever. Hey, guys, can we just get mass deportations? Like, can one day, can we talk about how we're getting mass deportations? One day, can we talk about how there's no new wars in the Middle East? A single time, can we pretend like there's going to be deep state arrests? Like, this is my frustration. I don't care. You guys like my hair, you don't like my hair. I don't give a damn. You think I said I'm going to vote Democrat? You didn't watch the video? Guys, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And now I've got all of these MAGA people, like true cult members, saying, oh, Trump needs to put me back in jail. Guys, what happened to you? Forget what happened to me. We all know what happened to me. You don't like my hair job. Whatever else you got some personal issue with my looks or something. That's all personal stuff. I don't run the government. I host my own show, totally independent here. That's it. Why are you talking about me? Why do you care about my hair? Why do you give a damn whether you think I'm going to vote Democrat or not? It's the weirdest thing. And I know what it is. I know the psychology. And I was thinking about being mean today. I was thinking about being mean. I was thinking about coming on air and saying, hey, listen, all of you gutless cowards who are too scared, whose balls haven't dropped enough that you can turn around and address these issues to Trump, all of you gutless cuck conservatives that are now in a MAGA cult that are more obsessed with my hair now than mass deportations. I was going to come on and be mean and kind of do it like that. But you know what? I said, that's not right. I don't want to do that yet. If we get to that point, then I'll do that. But I don't even want to do that yet. I want to be nice. I want to get along with these people. Guys, just let me know when mass deportations start. Just let me know when we're out of the Middle East. Just let me know when we're actually cutting into the debt and not increasing it. Just let me know when we're arresting the deep state. Just let me know, guys. Just let me know. Until then, all of your attacks and comments saying I need to be thrown back in jail, I ask this nicely. I could be mean. You know what? I could go into the mud with you people. I come out on the other side looking clean anyway. What are you going to do when Trump isn't president? Whose balls are you going to wash? Whose shoes are you going to shine? So I'm just asking in the nicest way. Okay, I'm pruning out. I'm ugly. Look what I did to my hair. I betrayed everybody. I'm the worst. I am horrible. I am the worst person. Okay? Oh my gosh. I mean, demean me. I mean, debase me, degrade me, and just stomp me down in the mud, guys. Okay? Now, that's all done. I'm done. I'm stomped out. Owen Schroyer is stomped out in the mud. My blonde hair is now brown from all the dirt that you kicked on me. I'm out. I'm horrible, guys. Now that that's all said and done, now I ask, what about mass deportations? What about deep state arrests? What about fixing the economy? What about energy independence? What about no new wars? What about bringing the troops home? Okay? So now that you got your little punching bag down in the dirt, now that you've all had your 5 minutes of hate against Owen Schroyer, he's a Democrat now. Oh my God, all your little things. I'm just curious, what does that do for any of the things you voted for? Does that put you any closer? Does that put Trump any closer to following through on the campaign promises? Does that put us any closer to getting out of the Middle East? Does that put us any closer from cutting into the debt? Does any of this put us any closer to the things we voted upon? So I'll be nice today. I've got people wanting me to go all in. I'm going to tell you, DMT wants me to go all out today. He's a slow news day, and I punish anybody that works for me says there's a slow news day. You're this close to being fired. He's like, it's a slow news day. Just go hard on all these people. He's sending me all the I don't even care. I literally don't even care. Most of this stuff just gets sent to me. I'm a subject of the Alex Jones show today. What an honor. I'm honored. That is a legendary broadcast. Congratulations. So I'm just curious, guys. So have your 5 minutes of hate and then tell me how that puts you closer to any of the things that you voted for. Just let me know. And let me know what happens when Trump leaves office and none of this stuff goes down. What happens when Trump leaves office? What happens when Democrats win in the midterms? These are real world things. These are things that are actually going to impact you. Not what color my hair is or isn't. Not whether I said I'm going to vote Democrat or not. These are the real things that are going to impact your country, your life, your future. Let me know when you want to be serious about this stuff. Until then, I'm going to continue being serious about this stuff. I'm going to continue addressing the real issues. I'm going to continue to be honest about the things the administration is and isn't doing, and I will continue to take your 5 minutes of hate. But I just hope you understand, when it's all said and done, we're still going to be on this boat together. Whether you've got more or less hair or a different color than mine, we're still all going to be on the same boat together. And if Trump doesn't follow through on these campaign promises, or the Democrats take the midterms, which you guys seem to be so concerned of, but you won't do any of the things to correct course, you guys let me know how it goes for you. You guys let me know. I'll be right here doing the Owen Report just like I do every day. And as you guys are all sitting here barking up the wrong tree, complaining at the wrong people, and watching this tiny window of opportunity we had with Trump to actually save this country, and you're watching it close, and I'm here begging you to help me keep it open. I'm here begging you to help me get Trump on board to do the things we voted for, and all you can do is run defense for Trump and run offense on people that have nothing to do with any decisions in Washington, D.C. None. But guess what else is in the news? This might shock you. We have, this is mind-blowing. This is like stop the presses type of stuff that's happening right here. And this is really what everybody should be talking about. And this is really why it's so frustrating because, guys, guess what? We have our government, and it is occupied by a foreign country. And it is occupied by foreign interests. And maybe that's what it is that's too heavy for you guys to deal with right now. That's a little too serious of a weight to lift and to deal with. And so you don't want to do it. You want to pretend like Lord Trump is handling everything just fine. And anybody that has anything serious to say on foreign policy or any critiques of Donald Trump, they're the enemies. They're the ones you need to go after. So I understand if it's too heavy of a lift for you right now to actually do serious political commentary. But the problem is a lot of you want to. You go into these spaces. You try to engage in it. And I think you want what's best for the country. I do. I think you do, at the end of the day, want what's best for the country or maybe what's best for yourself. But the path you're on is only going to make things worse, guys. And that's what's so frustrating is we're sitting here on the same path, doing the same things and expecting different results. It's very strange, I have to say. But hey, I don't know. Maybe we'll get into that. Maybe we won't. I do have some of it in the stack, but I think I've pretty much said my piece. I just don't get it. You know? It's like, I just don't get it, guys. Let me know. Let me know when the mass deportations are happening. Let me know when there's no new wars in the Middle East. Let me know when gas prices are down, energy prices are down, grocery prices are down, there's deep state arrests, the Doge dividends are coming in, the tariff checks are coming in. You guys let me know. Because right now, none of that is happening. None of it. And for whatever reason, you guys don't seem to care. For whatever reason, you don't seem bothered by this. That's what I don't understand. That's what confuses me. Why it is anybody seems unbothered that time is ticking away with this administration and you're not getting the massive institutional reform and change that we need to save the country. And instead, you're sitting idly by, pretending to be an American patriot while you watch a foreign country and its interests get put above your own. Total cuck behavior. And that's what we're witnessing. So it's very frustrating, I have to say. But I guess this would be the final statement. If you confuse what I'm doing here, commentary, opinion, coverage, analysis, all of these different things, you need to understand, it doesn't matter who I vote for. And every time I talk about this, I say I've never voted Democrat. I don't see myself voting Democrat. The realistic coverage here is that people are considering voting Democrat to stop the Trump administration. That is real. Many Trump supporters are going to be going to the polls and voting for Democrats as a spite vote or to stop the Trump administration that they view as corrupt, that they view as bought off by foreign interests. That is a real issue. And attacking the messenger, me, is not going to solve the problem. But you know what has to be done to solve the problem. You're just not willing to do it. And it's a lot easier to shoot the messenger, isn't it? Instead of going after the source. So we'll take a look at a lot of that today on the Owen Report. Brought to you by Cove Pure Water Filtration Systems, the official water filter of the Owen Report. Guys, once you get this filter, you're going to ask yourself, why did I ever have any other filters? You'll never even get another filter. You'll never need one. Now, here's the thing. I think this thing comes right out of the future. I don't know where Cove Pure got this thing. I don't think it's a place. I think it's the future. It's a time. Because this thing, first of all, it looks sleek, but then it does things you just wonder how it gets it done. For example, now right now I'm actually drinking my Crash Out Energy. I got cold water right here. But earlier today I was drinking some instant coffee. One click of the button and I've got scalding hot water for coffee, for tea, whatever you want, scalding hot water. Next click of a button, ice cold water. Ice cold water and scalding hot water on demand. What other water filter offers you that? None. None. Reverse osmosis purity. That is well known for water snobs. It is well known as the best water filtration system. But the problem with reverse osmosis is that it does dealkalize the water. So what do? The Cove Pure water filtration system realkalizes the water. It has a removable pitcher. When you put it back, it fills itself up. Fills itself up. You can control how much water. You can control the temperature of the water. All of this with one water filtration system, the Cove Pure water filtration system, the official water filter of the Owen Report. And right now, to celebrate America's 250th birthday, they are offering $250 off. $250 off a water filter unit at covepure.com/Owen. Take advantage of that, folks. While it's America's birthday, $250 off right now at covepure.com/Owen.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys, how we doing? How's everybody doing today? It's been a very interesting Monday for me, very clunky. There've been some good things. I'm actually, trying to do serious stuff today, trying to do serious real work today. Had a couple of interviews earlier today. And I keep getting these messages. Look who's attacking you now. Look who says you need to be thrown in jail. Look, they talked about you on the Jones Show. I'm just like, okay, all right. Is anybody talking about why we're not getting mass deportations? I'm going to keep hitting this issue because it's like there are two things that have to be happening right now. Two things. And one is we have to do the mass deportations. I mean, there's just no way around it. We have to be deporting tens of millions of people. And if we're not going to do that, then other serious reforms need to be happening. If you're not going to be deporting 20 million people minimum by the end of the Trump administration, then you need to start finding other ways to mitigate the costs of illegal immigration, meaning we have to get rid of all welfare. All welfare has to go. You have to find a way to protect Americans as far as where are the violent criminals, or where are they getting jobs that Americans should be getting? Where are they getting housing that Americans should be getting? All of this stuff has to be happening. Like, this has to be happening now. Not Iran is going to get a nuke in another 47 years. Not Iran is working on a nuke. No, that is totally, nobody was thinking about this. You understand? Nobody was going through the Trump campaign thinking about, oh my gosh, I mean, knocking their knees, biting their nails, nervous Nellies. Oh, Iran is going to get a nuke tomorrow. This is it. We're doomed. We need to stop that nuke. Is that what they were chanting? Stop that nuke. Stop that nuke. No, it was build that wall. No, it was get them out. That's what they were chanting. Build that wall. Get them out. Oh. So immediately we prioritize stopping the Iranian nuke. Let me tell you, whatever BS is going on in Iran, folks, this country would obviously be better off not involved. So obvious. It's ridiculous. And here we are. So no, we should be talking about mass deportations every day. We should be talking about the necessity of mass deportations every day and the issues that come along with it, which no doubt there will be. We can figure that out on the way. Mass deportations has to happen. Is Trump going to do it? And you can always pin MAGA down on this, by the way. You can always pin MAGA down. Hey, all the MAGA people tuned in, the haters, what is the number that you are okay with? What is the deportation number that you are okay with? Is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? Is it 20 million? Most will admit it's 20 million. Most will admit we have to deport every single person, at least, that the Biden administration brought in. Well, that's not going to happen, guys. That's not happening. That's not on the agenda. That's not being talked about in the White House. That's not being worked on. No. Actually, you know what they're doing, guys? You know what Mark Wayne Mullen is doing? I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. The whole thing is this TV show. And I don't mind Laura Trump. She seems nice enough. Just wants to be a happy, bubbly, nice person. That's what it seems like. Her whole thing is. Oh, but she gets the Fox News show. I'm sure that show does very well for her. I'm sure she makes a nice chunk of change. And she gets to do a show, and she's got Mark Wayne Mullen, guys. And you know what we're doing with Mark Wayne Mullen? Are we going around doing deportations? Are we doing those hardcore undercover videos on the stings, getting rid of all the bad guys and the criminals and the traffickers that came into this country? Is Laura Trump out there in the field showing the rough work that ICE agents and Border Patrol have to do? Is Laura Trump out there with the exclusive access to Mark Wayne Mullen showing the deportations, how they happen, getting down to work? No. They're doing MMA. No, they're in spandex. They're in spandex rolling around on the mat is what they're doing. Yeah. Isn't it nice? That's Fox News. That's the Laura Trump show. And that's the man that is supposedly in charge of mass deportations. This could be it, guys. Will we ever get another shot to do mass deportations? There might be an opportunity to cut off the welfare. There might be opportunities, agendas, plans to stop the impact of all the illegal aliens that are here. How do you get them off the road? How do you get them out of the housing market? How do you get them out of the job market? How do you get them off welfare? If you can't get them out, how do we stop all the other negatives? How do we stop all the other blithes on our civilization if we can't get them out? Hey, I don't know, man. Did you see Mark Wayne Mullen grappling with Laura Trump? We're going to grapple. Come here, Laura. Come on. Come here. Let me get you down on the mat, Laura. I don't bring in the Mark Levin clips anymore. I mean, this guy might as well just go up there in an entire Israeli military uniform with an Israel flag behind him. I mean, the level of Israel propaganda that Mark Levin is at this point is so unreal. But this is what you got from Fox News, by the way. And you know what else you get for Fox News? They bring on Darlene Graham. They bring in Darlene Graham to campaign. She's got a big special election tomorrow. And Fox News makes sure that Darlene Graham gets airtime so that they can get people to go out and vote for Darlene Graham. Nobody had even heard of this woman until a couple weeks ago. By the way, terribly offensive. They officially rename a base in South Carolina after Lindsey Graham. Totally despicable, totally grotesque. And it's Darlene Graham, not Mark Lynch. Not Mark Lynch, who finished second in the actual primary with Lindsey Graham, who actually ran a campaign, who actually spent money and ran for office and finished second to Lindsey Graham. He doesn't get the Fox News airtime. No, instead it's Darlene Graham, who's never been involved in politics before. And it's such a strange thing. And she's well coached. You know, she's very coachable. I can imagine the GOP team behind Darlene Graham, all of the super PACs and lobby money behind Darlene Graham. I bet they really like her. She seems very coachable. I'll give her that. She seems very coachable, and for somebody that comes into this deal with like no experience outside of being Lindsey Graham's brother, Lindsey Graham's sister, she's not bad. I'll give her that. She's very well coached, and she knows how to go on air and do it. So she's on Fox News, and you know what she's talking about, guys? She's talking about the unaffordability crisis. And I'm sitting here and I'm asking myself, wait a second, you're not supposed to talk about that. Trump doesn't want you to talk about that. In fact, it doesn't even exist. Darlene Graham, well, she wants you to know in South Carolina, she wants you to know she understands. And that's what she says. She understands how expensive groceries are. She understands how expensive gas is. And again, you know what? I might believe her. I bet you Darlene Graham has probably purchased groceries and filled her gas tank up a lot more recently than other people in D.C., than other people in the Trump administration. She might actually understand. She might actually know. Yeah, you know what? It is kind of tough out here. She might actually be closer to the realistic experience of Americans, unlike this White House. But she doesn't know. This is all being coached. They're just trying to get her in there as a rubber stamp. Lindsey Graham voting from the grave. Lindsey Graham voting from the crypt. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. It's insane. And we're watching the Republicans accept it. And when does this become campaign contributions in kind where Fox News picks and chooses who they let on the air and who they don't? Is that a little too heavy, maybe? A little too wonky? And then you know what, guys? After she tells you that she understands the affordability crisis, after Darlene Graham has her nice little script there telling you how she understands the financial hardship. Oh, so Trump's lying. It's not the golden age. Well, we don't want to go that far. No. When Trump says it's the golden age and the greatest economy ever, he's right. But when I am trying to win an election, I have to be honest that the economy is not good or people won't vote for me. See? So Trump is right no matter what he says. Trump is right when he says the economy is great. But when I'm running for an election, I have to say the economy is bad because that's actually the truth. Republicans just take it. They just sit there and take it. So that's, okay, getting back to the substance here. The one thing that has to happen is mass deportations. And then there's Darlene Graham. And you know what she finishes her segment with? How we need to continue to fight the war in the Middle East. Darlene Graham, after telling Fox News how important the economy is and getting the cost of living down, then goes on to tell you how we need to keep fighting in Iran and keep fighting in Ukraine. We need to keep these wars going. And this brings us to issue number 2, which is obviously maybe the most important thing. You know, have your debates. But I think these two things are probably 1, 2. And they both work to the larger issue, which is corruption in D.C. Just what needs to be done is we need to get rid of the corruption in D.C. But if you look at it as an issue-based subject, we have to get mass deportations, and you have to get the foreign lobby out of Washington, D.C., period. It has to be done. And yes, of course, everybody talks about the Israeli lobby right now. Why wouldn't they? It is the most overwhelming force. It has more control and influence over Congress than the American people do. And they have us in another war in the Middle East where we've already lost trillions of dollars and thousands of lives, tens of thousands of lives, just since the turn of the 21st century. These two things have to happen. And how's Trump doing on both of those things? And of course, the other thing would have to be getting rid of corruption in D.C., draining the swamp, making deep state arrests. Were there criminals and crooks that did illegal things during the Obama administration? I ask this to MAGA. I ask this to Trump supporters. I ask this to the MAGA people who attack me every day. I ask you this kindly. I ask you this genuinely. Were there crooks and criminals that did illegal things in the Barack Obama administration? Yes or no? And if your answer to that is yes, and no one gets arrested, isn't that a problem? Wouldn't that be a problem? To MAGA, were there crooks and criminals that committed crimes in the Biden administration? Yes or no? And if the answer to that is yes, wouldn't it be a problem if none of them are arrested? Wouldn't that be a problem? Because, see, I think this is a problem. I happen to think this is a problem. I have a problem with that. But you guys seem to be okay with it now, which is a little confusing. And by the way, if you want to get a little hint of it, this is the most recent wave from Patriot Clips, where clearly Patriot Clips misquotes me here or takes it out of context. I don't really care. Patriot Clips do whatever you want with the clips, but this one brought me a lot of heat. It's fine. Owen Schroyer says he's voting for Democrats. Never said that. Everyone who listens to my show knows that I do not say that. I talk about how people will be voting for Democrats to stop the Trump administration. I have said I don't think I would. I have said I never have, and I couldn't see myself doing it. So whatever. So now everybody's attacking me because, I'm going to vote Democrat. Now, what's funny is none of them can offer a serious response. Say, Owen, don't vote Democrat. We need mass deportations. That's not happening. Hey, Owen, don't vote Democrat. We don't want to get in a new war in the Middle East. You are in a new war in the Middle East. Hey, Owen, don't vote Democrat. We need to fix the economy. Trump's not fixing the economy. Oh, hey, Owen, don't vote Democrat. We need to drain the swamp. We need to arrest the deep state criminals. That's not happening. So what do you got? You have nothing of substance. You just insult my looks, or you insult me in some other way, shape, or form. Most of you people say things about me that are just not even true. You just don't even know it. You just make stuff up, or you believe stuff other people have said, and that's all fine. But I ask you again, will you be okay without mass deportations? Oh, so I've been sold out. So let's open the borders. So let's vote to open the borders. So you should see all the replies to this. It's just like, guys, what do you think you're getting out of this administration? A hat? A hat? Is that it? You got a nice hat? You get a nice honeymoon too? Before your wife cheats on you? You guys are still in the honeymoon phase, and you've been down at the bar, you've been down at the casino having a good time with your buddies. Your wife's been in the hotel room cheating on you with every single person that walks in there. That's MAGA now. MAGA is stuck in this honeymoon phase after the inauguration. And they're down at the bar, they're down at the casino. You know, they're at the ball game. Everybody's having a good time. Drinks are aplenty. Meanwhile, Trump is up in the hotel room. He's cheating on you guys. He's got Al-Qaeda in the White House. He's got Mamdani in the White House. He's got Netanyahu in the White House 9 times. He's got Marion Adelson running the whole thing with Susie Wiles and their hundreds of millions of dollars. He's got Republicans that he endorses that want amnesty. You're more likely to get in fact, you are more likely to get more amnesty than deportations from this administration. But hey, guys, I sold out. I sold out, guys. I'm the one that ran on mass deportations, guys. That was me. I'm the one that ran on mass deportations and am not doing it. I'm the one that ran on mass deportations, but I endorsed Republicans for amnesty. I'm the one that ran on the Epstein list, and then I'm covering it up. That was me. I'm the one that took hundreds of millions of dollars from the foreign lobbies, promised you no new wars, and then started a new war in Iran. I did that, guys. I'm the traitor. I'm the sellout. I'm the one that lied to you. I'm the one that put your country in more debt than any other president. I'm the one responsible for almost a quarter of this country's debt. That was me, guys. That was me. I'm the one that did that. Don't you see? Now imagine if that was my resume. My resume is actually going to jail 4 or 5 times for standing up for Trump. My resume is actually being censored off the internet multiple times for telling the truth. My resume is actually being a political activist and putting millions of people in the streets to protest a stolen election. I actually have a real track record. But I'm the traitor. I'm the sellout. And that's what they all say, guys. So sorry, guys. I have to say, I'm so sorry. It's my fault you're not getting mass deportations. It's my fault Democrat socialists are going to win. It's my fault there's a new war in the Middle East. It's my fault your debt is worse than ever. That's my fault, guys. I'm the one that sold out. I took all the money from the foreign lobby. I took all the money from the Adelsons. I did that. I'm the one endorsing Republicans for amnesty. I did that. Yeah. But you know what it really is? And you guys were supposed to be different. But you're just like the left now. You're just like liberals now. And that's the truth. And it has nothing to do with policy, obviously, because you guys don't follow policy. And that's the problem. That's the point. You guys are just like liberals. MAGA is just like liberals in that they talk about stuff that they have no freaking clue about. MAGA is just like liberals where they defend something that is indefensible. MAGA is just like liberals when they're going to bat for something that doesn't even exist. And then they'll sit here and project all of these failures that Trump has had, and they'll project them onto you as if somehow that's your fault. Just like Trump is doing, by the way. Oh, it's not me, it's the Republicans, he says. Amazing. Amazing. Guys, these people, it's so bad. It's so bad where I share a picture this weekend. Because, you know, I sometimes like to cool off the politics on the weekends. And I shared this video of this alligator turtle. And these things are awesome. If you've ever seen one in person, I mean, these things are just incredible beasts. Truly majestic. And I just shared this one that's stuck in this cage. It was like, oh, man, that's sad. Someone says, oh, my gosh, Owen, you've become a tree-hugging hippie. You guys have lost your minds, man. Like, you don't have any problem with this. By the way, this is in Ukraine. There's a cheap aquarium in Ukraine. They don't treat the animals right, obviously. They shove this guy's probably 100 years old. They just shove him in this tiny thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, Schroyer, what's wrong with you? It's like, dude, no, what's wrong with you? Do you have any human soul left? Do you have any humanity left at all? You know, I just, let's just say, come on, guys. Let's watch a little Laura Trump. You want to watch Laura Trump grapple with Mark Wayne Mullen? Come here. Come here, Laura. Let me grapple. Let me show you how we grapple. God. That was me, guys. They put me in charge. I'm sorry to MAGA. It's my fault. It's my fault, MAGA. They put me in charge of Mark Wayne Mullen's schedule. And they had him scheduled to get mass deportations going. And I said, no, You're going to go on the Laura Trump show. You're going to help with her ratings. She's on Fox News now. And you're going to go on the Laura Trump show. You're going to get in some spandex, and you're going to roll around on the mat. You're going to grapple. We're not doing mass deportations, Mark Wayne. We're grappling. I need you grappling with Laura Trump. That was my fault, guys. I'm sorry, MAGA. It's my fault. None of this is happening. Yeah. You know, I really should play this video. This is the ultimate Groundhog Day video. And I'm pretty sure I can do this. I'm pretty sure I got a workaround here for the audio issues. It's unfortunate, but I do want to play this video. This was submitted by a audience member at DNomadRichG. This is a great compilation he put together here. Hey, DMT, monitor our audio here. We should be good. We should be good with this workaround, but just monitor the audio for me. Guys, here it is, your ultimate compilation, Groundhog Day Trump winning the war in Iran. Look at the dates on this one.
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, at a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. The anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have, is all gone. Everything's gone. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. Look, regardless, we win. Regardless what happens, we win. You're such a disgrace. Did you hear what I just said? Vietnam. How many years was Vietnam? I took the country out militarily in the first 4 weeks. Now all we're doing is sitting back and seeing what deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, then I'll finish it up militarily with the other 25% of the target. We've knocked out their manufacturing. We've knocked out their missile production. We've knocked out their drone production. We've knocked out everything. In some cases, when I say knocked it out, 70, 80, 90%. So they had a Navy with 159 ships, and now every ship is blown to pieces. They had an Air Force, lots of planes, and they don't have any planes. They don't have any anti-aircraft. They don't have any radar left. Their missiles are mostly decimated, and their leaders are all dead. So I think we won. Look at your 401k. You're happy about your 401k? The nice reporters are smiling at me, and the stupid reporters are like that. But their 401ks are setting records. They should be happy. As far as Iran's concerned, you're going to find out what the deal is. You can't have a nuclear weapon. The strait will open immediately. We're going to win one way or the other. We're going to win on paper, or we're going to win military. I think it's a tremendous success, Iran. Look, they have no military left. Their Air Force is gone. Their ships are gone. Their radar is gone. Everything's gone. They want to make a deal, but they don't know how to make a deal, and then they go around shooting ships at night. You know, they're dealing with very fine people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, J.D. Vance, Scott. They're dealing with great people, but I don't know. I think they're a little loco. They're a little crazy. It's an amazing thing. We have a little problem with Iran. For some reason, when they're talking, they don't like saying that they're talking. So I say, wait, we're in talks. I call some numerous people. I don't want to use the word begging, but some were. Many countries called, the leaders of many are friendly with a lot of them. They all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document. Epic Fury!
So there you go. That's a year and a half of Trump winning the war, opening the strait, winning the war, closing the strait, winning the war, destroying their military, winning the war, eliminating their leadership, winning the war, eliminating their nuclear program, all to be right here on Monday, August the 10th, and the war is ongoing. They're still apparently a day away from a nuke. They're still bombing our facilities. They still have a military. We're about $100 billion in. We don't even know the status of our own weapons stockpiles. And by the way, there's a little bit more detailed research happening here. And again, I'm not going to pretend like we really know. I don't know if we really know what the stockpiles are or aren't. I doubt the information is that easy to get. But what they have done is math. And the math that they've done is they've looked at all of the weapons, whatever information is publicly available, that we have either sent or sold to Ukraine and Israel. And we can look at these numbers, and we can look at weapons contracts, and we do know how long it takes to manufacture a lot of these weapons, a lot of these missiles. And with the math that they have available, with the public information they have available, yeah, the U.S. missile stockpile is definitely not where we'd like it. It has definitely been depleted. Now, the only question is how depleted at this point. But there you go. There's Trump, we've won the war for the last year and a half. And this entire time, by the way, this entire time of Trump winning the war, what has been the big MAGA defense? Oh, well, gas prices are going to come down. Energy costs are going to come down. We're going to be richer than ever. Gas is going to be so cheap. Groceries are going to be so cheap. This is all going to benefit us. Well, it's been over a year now. Where's the benefits? Gas is still up. Groceries are still up. Energy is still up. So how long do you guys play this game? How long do you guys kick this can down the road and shoot the messenger until what? Until Democrats win in the midterms? Until Trump is out of office? Then what? You going to bitch about an open border to me? You're going to sit here and bitch at all the messengers that warned you that none of this is happening while you guys were down at the bar playing tiddlywinks, playing pool, while Trump's upstairs in the suite getting banged out by the foreign lobby? How's that one going to go for you? Who are you going to bitch at then when Democrats start winning? Who are you going to bitch at when you don't get mass deportations and you get amnesty? God knows it won't be Trump. Oh, no. Never. Never, ever, ever. Iran says there's still no deal on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. What do you do? I thought it was open. One day Trump says it's open. The next day Trump says it's closed. By the way, what does this sound like, guys? The U.S. government now owns stakes in 30 companies. Intel is just the beginning. How do you like that? So Trump has used the U.S. government to get stakes in 30 companies. And, of course, he and his friends have benefited quite nicely off of those stock gains, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, here's another issue, and maybe the war actually becomes more important with this. China opens Arctic Ice Silk Road as Strait of Hormuz crisis deepens. Sea Legend will launch its first regular shipping service through Arctic to bypass maritime checkpoints. So China's out here actually with solutions. Trump administration is running laps around themselves for Israel. China bypasses shipping choke points with Ice Silk Road through the Arctic. And then Scott Bessent comes out in an interview this weekend. This thing is such a disaster, guys. I'm sorry. It's just so bad. So they don't have a solution, guys. They don't know what they're doing. Who knows if they ever did? Maybe it was a mismeasurement. Maybe they just have to jump as high as Bibi tells them because whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's blackmail. Whatever. We're all watching it happen. So Bessent has to do an interview because I give Bessent credit. I mean, I think, I think Bessent has been one of the better members of the administration. I think he's as honest and realistic as he can be. Whether you trust him or not, that's a different story. This is just judging off of the things he said and done as Treasury Secretary. So he comes out in an interview this weekend. I can't tell whether to laugh or cry. And he's being honest. He's like, yeah, well, we don't really have control of the strait. We're not sure, open, closed. It's been a bit of a problem. And then, you know, we're dealing with the Houthis on the other side of that landmass, and they're controlling that strait now, the Al-Babab Strait, whatever that one is. So apparently, guys, Trump wants to find a way to tunnel. Trump wants to tunnel underground to build pipelines because they can't win in the Strait of Hormuz. Here, I'll put the Besant clip up. So this is apparently the solution, and this just to me says they're actually talking about it.
In a doomsday sort of way.
Some who've speculated the strait will never go back to being the way it was before. What would you say?
I would say, I think they're saying that in a doomsday sort of way. I would say it in another way. The strait is never going back to the way it was because the Iranians have used or tried to use it as a choke point. What we are going to see over the next 2 years, the strait's going to become irrelevant. It is going to become just another body of water, and I would say that more than 50 or 70% of the energy that moves through the strait now is going to go through underground pipelines.
Some who've speculated the strait will never go back to.
So they're building underground pipelines, guys. How does that sound? Does that sound like the war's going well? Does that sound like Trump is winning the war? Does that sound like Trump has control of the strait? Again, I look at Bess and I'm like, huh? Guy's just being honest. So they're in there essentially admitting defeat. They're in there essentially admitting that Iran has control of the strait and whatever capabilities we're willing to use here, we've exhausted them. So now we have to build pipelines underground. I mean, this thing is a damn clown show, guys. It's a clown show. And you think, well, maybe Trump can find a situation in the Middle East when this is all said and done. Maybe Trump can find a situation and bring Israel to the table and actually accomplish peace, because everybody knows that's what this is. And anybody pretending it's not is just either too dumb or still in denial, or it's their job to be an agent of propaganda. But Trump keeps proposing these peace plans, and Netanyahu keeps rejecting them. He just rejected another this weekend. Israel has rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's 15-point Board of Peace plan for Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signaled Israeli forces will not withdraw until Hamas genuinely disarms. There is no Hamas. I mean, what are we even talking about? And you know what's ironic about this whole thing, guys? And I don't mean to get too deep into it, but people just don't talk about it, really. You know what's so ironic about the whole thing, the whole post-World War II geopolitics now in the modern day is extremely ironic. Like, why is it that Russia and America are sitting here like the bad guys being bullied now in the global theater of war when it was Russia and the United States that lost 80 million men in World War II? And now it's like, oh, here come the geopolitical forces, and now what? It's going to be Russian men dying again? It's going to be American men dying again? It's like, what are we doing here? Why do we keep getting tricked into this? And then there's the Israel-Palestine. Now, I don't even know. Getting into the history of it all is like not even worth it. But it is ironic that you had a bunch of Zionist accounts sharing a map of Israel from, I believe it was the 1920s. I'd have to look at it again. And they're saying, see, this is ancient Israel. It's an ancient map, and it shows Israel. And it's the original map of the 12 tribes of Judea. Again, I don't want to do a history deal here, but it's the original conception of the 12 tribes of Judea. And, you know, Israel is one of them. And then there's a patch of land on the very map that says Palestine. And it's right there in the exact place where Palestine is today. And so all these people that deny Palestine exists, all these people that want to deny the Palestinians the exact same agency that they've been fighting for years, now they're all showing these maps saying, see, Israel exists, and it has Palestine right next to it, literally. So how can you not make the exact same argument about Palestine that you can make about Israel based off of these maps? But here's the irony. And maybe this was Israel's intention when they first gave Hamas the infrastructure and the money that it needed. They said, okay, well, Palestine needs agency as well. That is the entire purpose of Israel, guys. The entire purpose of Israel was allowing Jews, a nation state, to give themselves agency so that they could have agency on the international table, so that they could have a military. That's what Israel is all about. It's all about taking Jewish people and saying, okay, here is your Jewish nation state. You have agency now. You have international agency now. You have domestic agency now. This is what they were fighting for. That's what they wanted. And then through that agency, now you can engage in war. You can engage in trade negotiations. You can engage in all of these stuff. And that's exactly what Israel has done. And now they're trying to deny that exact same thing to Palestine. Now Israel and Netanyahu are denying the exact same sense of agency or infrastructure that Israel and Jews have been fighting for their whole lives. And now they're denying that very thing from Palestine. And of course, everybody knows why, because they want the land. And again, the irony sits in. Now, I don't know if you want to go down the debate that follows that conversation. We won't do it here, but it is ironic. And now we, the United States of America, apparently we don't even have our own agency enough to tell Israel that we're out. We don't even have our own agency enough to cut ties with Israel. And our government and our media is so compromised by Israel's interest that if you're an American right-winger and you haven't figured this out yet, you're totally lost. You're totally bamboozled. You're totally under brain control, mind washing, all of it. If you haven't figured this out. And that's the design. That's the design now of the GOP. That's the design of TPUSA. That's the design of Fox News. That's the design. And that's why they are bullying anyone and everybody that will not put Israel's interests first, even though that is inherently treasonous. By definition, that is traitorous activity. Oh, and it's Mike Huckabee too. And oh my gosh, poor, it's like you've got some younger people that are on at Fox. They know the deal. And Lisa Booth dares press Mike Huckabee. Lisa Booth dares press Mike Huckabee. Hey, why isn't the war over? Hey, this doesn't make sense. Americans are dying. Oh, it has to be done. The crazy terrorists, they've killed hundreds of thousands of their own people. They'll stop at nothing. Meanwhile, they keep saying all this stuff about Iran that the whole world is watching be true about Israel. It's Israel that is lusting for blood. It's Israel that is lusting for war. It's the Israelis that are going into all of this land and torturing and tormenting people. It's Israel that's killed tens of thousands of people. All the stuff that they sit there and tell you about Iran, we can all consciously witness is true about Israel. Now, whether it's true about Iran or not, I guess that's still open for debate. Because all the claims they make about Iran, anybody can go see is true that Israel is doing that in Palestine and southern Lebanon. They can't really provide us any video evidence of that going on in Iran, honestly enough, or ironically enough. But hey, plenty of that coming out of Palestine, plenty of that coming out of the Golan Heights, the West Bank, southern Lebanon, plenty of it coming out of there. All the activity. Boy, you'd think that was Iran. The way they describe Iran, you'd think that the way Israel behaves, you'd think they were Iran. But this is the big psyop to fund this entire thing with your taxpayer dollars. And somehow you're considered crazy for wanting to stop that. If Israel and a Jewish state wants to have its own agency, that's fine. I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with the Middle East. But you know what? There's an argument to be made that as long as Israel is taking U.S. taxpayer dollars, they don't have agency. Or we don't have agency. Which one is it? Either Israel doesn't have agency and they still need our money and our military, or we don't have agency and Israel owns our money and our military. Which one is it? And you're the crazy person for wanting to figure this out and stop it. And then I got a statement from Trump. I don't know. It's, same garbage. He's still keeping them from getting a nuclear weapon. And now there's the back and forth is Iran wants the U.S. to pay for damages. The U.S. wants Iran to pay for damages. Of course, where are we? None of the damages are happening here. They're all happening there. And then Trump reminds you, they cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's the big one. Meanwhile, this is kind of a new phenomenon, guys. Israel's mental health time bomb, post-traumatic stress disorder in the general population has increased by 70% following the October 7th attacks. Now, a lot of this is IDF soldiers. Now, this one's a little deep here, guys. This is the same thing that happened to U.S. soldiers when they got back from the Middle East. And now a similar thing is happening to IDF soldiers. Now, the U.S. has obviously had more boots on the ground in these wars than Israel. And when you actually crunch these numbers, you do the research, it's actually shocking. It's basically the U.S. fighting these wars. For all intents and purposes, the United States men and women are the ones boots on the ground fighting these wars. And the IDF has virtually no involvement. And they just say, oh, well, we're giving intelligence. A lot of the intelligence ends up being bad anyway. But some of the IDF soldiers are starting to fight. They're kind of forced to go into Palestine. It's mostly mop-up jobs. It's mostly mop-up crews that go into southern Lebanon, go into Palestine. So the Israeli, Air Force or whoever will basically just bomb, do a carpet bombing thing. They'll just wipe out the entire thing. They'll turn it to dust and rubble. And then the actual IDF soldiers will go in as a mop-up team and just see whatever's left in the rubble. So there's no real risk, but there's been some real risk. There's people that have been, IDF soldiers have been killed in this most recent war. But now you have this issue where they're committing suicide, and it's the same thing that happened with a lot of our men and women that served in the Middle East and came home. And I can't help but wonder. If it's an issue of, how can you say it without it coming off wrong? I don't even know if you can, really. But maybe realizing that you were fighting for the bad guys. Maybe that could be, or debating it in your head or wondering, am I fighting for the good or the bad out here? Maybe that can lead you to suicidal thoughts and actions. And maybe that's now happening with the IDF as well. There's a lot of similarities that can lead you to that conclusion. By the way, there was a big anti-Zionist journalist who disappeared. Russian-Israeli historian missing after landing at Ben Gurion last week. Artyom Kopechnik, good luck with that one, a left-wing critic of Israel who lives in Russia, arrived to attend a conference but hasn't been seen since. Russian officials claim he's being held by Shin Bet. Yeah, they just disappear people over there. No, we're not talking about Saudi Arabia. No, we're not talking about Iran. We're not even talking about Russia. We're talking about Israel. And they own both sides, by the way, guys. Israel owns the Republicans and the Democrats. And this weekend, an undercover audio recording of a Michigan state senator. Let me get this off here. This is Michigan State Senator Jeremy Moss, who's now running for Congress, and he will be on the final ticket in November, running against a Republican. So this is an undercover audio of Jeremy Moss basically saying he is loyal to Israel more than America.
Honestly, I would say that the entire purpose of my campaign is to make sure America continues to support Israel. I don't think it's wrong for Jews in America to want to live in first. America is not our homeland. We have been victims of anti-Semitism here.
So, just in case, let me just translate this for you, since this undercover recording is a little grainy.
Honestly, I would say that the entire purpose of my campaign is to make sure America continues to support Israel.
The entire purpose of my campaign is to make sure America continues to support Israel.
I don't think it's wrong for Jews in America to want to live in Israel first.
I don't think it's wrong for Jews to use America as a pawn.
America is not our homeland.
America is not our homeland. Now, that one, people are, is that what he said? It's a little tough to understand, but that is the conclusion most people are reaching. But there you go. It's Republicans, it's Democrats. They serve foreign interests, ladies and gentlemen. And it's ironic here, and of course it's the free press. It's the not-so-free press. It's the Israel Free Press, run by Barry Weiss, owned by Larry Ellison, #1 donor to the IDF. And so they run this with Representative Josh Gottenheimer. Gee, I wonder what relation he has to the Middle East. As a Democrat member of Congress, I can attest that for a growing number of my colleagues, being anti-Israel has now become a non-negotiable moral litmus test, writes New Jersey Representative Josh Gottenheimer. I wonder if Gottenheimer has any religious ties to this issue that might make him biased. But so what? So what if Americans want to be anti-Israel? What does that have to do with American policy at all? It shouldn't have anything to do with it. And again, I expressed this last week, and it's time for this to start to go mainstream. You have to find new ways to communicate, guys. Of course it's a non-negotiable moral litmus test. Why wouldn't it be? Americans have been told their entire lives that the Holocaust is the worst thing in human history. And the earmarks and the symptoms that led up to it, like racial superiority or a nationalist ethno-state expanding its borders, taking prisoners, putting them in camps, killing children. These are all the things that we were taught were the worst of humanity that the Nazis engaged in. This is what we were all taught virtually every year of school. We all saw documentaries. We all read books. The propaganda is still everywhere, reminding you Nazis are the worst ever because they did this, this, and this. And then that is ingrained into our moral compass. This is ingrained into our own morals and our own moral litmus tests. And now we're watching Israel. We've never seen anything like this in our lives. We're watching Israel behave in all the ways the Nazis did. Racial superiority, nationalist ethno-state, expansion of its borders, killing innocent men and women and children. This is everything we were told to stand against our entire lives. This is everything we were told in the post-World War II world that we cannot allow, we cannot tolerate. Zero tolerance for this type of behavior on the global scale within the international community. And so now we're all watching Israel engage in this behavior, and we're told to ignore it. We're told it's okay now. We're told we support it now, even. And then they say, oh, it's a moral litmus test. Well, yeah, this is how we were taught. This is what we were taught. And if we really want to get into the irony of why we were taught to hate the Nazis so much, if we really want to get into the irony of why every American was bashed over the head with the Holocaust for their entire lives, with Robert Maxwell and his book publishing companies of his daughters, we really want to get into the irony of it, we could go there. But we don't even need to. We all know that we were taught never again with the Nazis, and now we're taught, no, we support it now with Israel. Somebody explain that. It makes no sense. But the final line here, the Democrat Party is being hijacked. By Israel? Oh, no, by Americans. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party are being hijacked by Americans that don't want to prioritize Israel. And this is the free press. This is the argument today. If you're an American on the left or you're an American on the right and you don't want to support Israel, that means you've been hijacked. That means you're a traitor. I'm sorry. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't it be if a party gets bought and paid for by foreign interests and foreigners? Shouldn't it be that if a president of the United States goes to a foreign country and says, that person over there who cares more about this country than America, that's my top donor, we do everything for her? Shouldn't that be what's considered a party being hijacked? Shouldn't that be what's considered a country being hijacked? Seems like that would be the logical conclusion, no matter what you think about Israel and its actions against all of its neighbors, no matter what you think, good, bad, evil, or not, wouldn't a foreign interest and a foreign country buying our politicians and running our foreign policy, wouldn't that be hijacked? No. No, the news standard in D.C., the news standard by the Israel Free Press is that if you don't support Israel, that means your party has been hijacked. The exact opposite of reality. I'll tell you what, let's take a short break here. We've gone long in the first hour. Take a short break, close that out, other news stories, and definitely going to take phone calls today as well.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Folks, if you're thinking about getting into precious metals, give a call to my friends at Allegiance Gold. Now, here's the thing when you're talking about your finances, when you're talking about, whether it's metals, whether it's the stock market, any decisions you want to make, you need to know the person you're doing business with has an A+ review with the Better Business Bureau. You got to make sure of that. And guess what? Allegiance Gold does. You got to have that, folks. You just got to have it. Allegiance Gold, nearly 10,000 clients nationwide, and they still have that A+ review with the Better Business Bureau. So you need to have that. Check that off the list. Now, right now, they are offering $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments. You heard that right. $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. They make it simple to move into something real before the next reset. So give them a call. Ask them about that offer. 844-790-9191. That's 844-790-9191. Or go to protectwithowen.com. That's protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth because no one else will.
political light years ahead of the rest. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
You know, I don't like getting distracted by the outside commentary, but it just keeps incoming today. It just keeps incoming. See if I can pull this up for you. You know, look, DMT does this to me sometimes, or people that clip the show will just take something I say and really make it seem a lot more radical than what it was I actually said. And you know what? I don't really care. I'm editorialize the show as much as you want. It's whatever. But Patriot Clips, you guys really set me up. And we like you. We like you over there at Patriot Clips. You guys are fun and we're friendly, and that's all good. But you guys really set me up with this one. And you're going to do well. You're probably going to get 1 million views on this video, so that's fine. But here's an example. So this is Swig, the founder of Old Row. He says, the Democrats put Owen Schroyer in federal prison for his political views. They broke him. They broke me? That's funny. Did you go to jail for political views? No, you didn't. I did, and I didn't stop doing political views. Okay? So I don't know what you're talking about. They broke me. And the funny thing is, if you really want to get into this Democrats versus Republicans, let me just lay some facts out for you guys. Most censorship in this country happened under Donald Trump. A stolen election in this country happened under Donald Trump. A new war happened under Donald Trump. Lawsuits, political weaponization, riots, leftist riots in the streets. All of this happened under Donald Trump, by the way. But we'll just ignore that. So the Democrats broke me by censoring me off the internet in 2018. Oh, no, Trump was president. I kept doing my shows. The Democrats broke me. I've been arrested 5 times, bro. Actually, if you want to get the numbers right, I've been arrested 5 times. I was arrested for speech in December 2019. Didn't shut up. I was arrested for speech in January of 2020. Didn't shut up. I was arrested for speech in January of 2021. Didn't shut up. I was arrested for speech in August of 2021. Didn't shut up. And then I was arrested and imprisoned for 2 months. Didn't shut up. Who broke me? Nobody here's broke. I speak with consequence and I don't stop. I've been censored, I've been sued, I've been attacked, I've been death threatened, I've been swatted, I've been imprisoned, and I'm still here, bud. Nobody broke me. And if anybody's broke, it's you, too scared to call out President Trump. If anybody's broke, it's you, too scared to be honest with yourself. And this is me being nice, by the way. But I could be nicer. I want to be nicer. I really do. But the problem is I already see where this is going. You people are the new liberals. You people are the new leftists. You can't debate anything of substance. So let's find out if Old Rose Swig wants to respond here. Let's see, because none of them respond. Should people who engage in political imprisonment go to jail? If you believe the Biden administration weaponized the government against its political opposition, including Trump, by the way, if you believe the Biden administration committed crimes putting political opposition in prison and putting them in prison for speech, shouldn't people go to jail? I think they should go to jail. Why don't you? Did somebody break you? Are you broke? Too scared to call that out? Do you think individuals that facilitated an invasion of our country, 20 million people coming in here illegally, do you think they should go to jail? I do. Do you, or did somebody break you? And that's the problem. None of you people are serious about saving the country. And Trump will be gone, and all the serious reformation that need to happen will be gone with him. And then what? And then what are you going to say? We've already been through this. We already did 4 years of Trump. It never happened. It's supposed to be happening now. It's not. So again, remove Owen Schroyer from the conversation and just ask the question. You got attack me all day long. Say whatever you want about me. Let's ask the questions that have nothing to do with that, about me. Were there crimes committed by the Obama administration against Donald Trump? Yes or no? Has anyone been arrested for these crimes? Yes or no? Were crimes committed by the Biden administration while he was in office? Yes or no? Should people be arrested for these crimes? Yes or no? And your answer to all those questions would have been yes 2 years ago. Are they still yes today? Or can you not be honest about it today because Trump's in president and nothing is happening? You guys want to see? None of them reply, by the way. The ones that do, good for you. But they still can't answer the questions. They can make fun of me all day long, and that's not going to change anything of this administration. It's crazy. So that's fine. Make fun of Schroyer all day long. Let me know when the mass deportations start happening, guys. Let me know. By the way, did you guys see this? Hillel Fold. Can't believe this day has come, but our superstar AVL is drafting to the Israeli Defense Forces. All I keep thinking is how, as a kid growing up in New York, never in a million dreams did I imagine this moment. So he grew up in New York, but he has an Israeli flag in his bio. He grew up in New York, but his son is serving in the IDF. By the way, 7% of the IDF soldiers are Americans. 0% of Americans' military are Israelis. But think of that what you want. How is this not foreign loyalty? Where are all you proud Republican patriots? How is this not foreign loyalty? Let's see here. Israel is arresting anybody who goes into the West Bank and films, including Jews. Mostly Jews, actually, including American Jews. They don't want you to see what's really going on over there so they can run their propaganda. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. You know what? You know what? That's enough. That's enough. I want to take phone calls. Let's do that. Let's take calls today. I'm begging, and by the way, guys, I can't see our chat today. StreamYard is having all kinds of tech issues, and this is all over their board, by the way. If you go to, like, Reddit or these other chat forums, they're all talking about how StreamYard's audio issues are obnoxious. So there's this other, I can't see your chat, and it's some weird thing. There's some X poster here, and this happens quite often. I don't even know if we can, I don't know what to do about this. I can't see your chat because it keeps getting spammed here, but it's not even really this person's fault. By 999.9, whatever this account is here, spamming it on X, because of this, I can't read your chats. So I can read the super chats because that goes into a different, it goes into a different category. But I can't read your normal chats because this is the only account that shows up here with some other tech glitch StreamYard has. But I can read super chats for later, just in case you're wondering. But I want to go to phone calls now. I just can't do the news anymore, guys. I'm just so frustrated by it. I'm just so frustrated. It's just like, dude, I don't even care, guys. Honestly, it's funny to me that you guys make fun of me. I mean, I enjoy it. It's funny. It's hilarious. You're talking about me. You're thinking about me. I find the whole thing rather flattering. But it's just like, hey, when do you want to be serious, though? You know, it's like, hey, I don't mind being your piñata. I don't mind being your punching bag here because you're too scared to address Trump or you're too scared to address the actual things I'm talking about. I don't really care whether you think I'm ugly or not. Like, that doesn't matter to me. That's fun. Have a great time with it. Have a great laugh. Have a good time. Burn me, roast me, meme me. Do it all. That's fine. Let me know when you're serious about stuff, though. Or are you guys just giving it all up to Trump? Is that what you do? Are you just fully accepting now that you're in a total cult and that's all that matters? Just let Trump do everything and don't complain. Don't raise any fuss. Don't raise any issues. And then what happens when he gets out? Who cares? We'll deal with it then. Even if the Democrats win and open the borders. Even if the Democrats win and start imprisoning people, because that's what's going to happen, as you say. So I'm the one that's trying to stop that from happening. You're the ones playing cheerleader on the 50-yard line and playing punching bag over the messenger. It's like I'm the messenger. You guys are out on the 50-yard line doing a cheerleading routine, and I'm the messenger. I got ran out there, and I'm saying, hey, guys, halftime is over, and we're down by 3 scores. Time to get on the sideline. Halftime is over. Halftime's not over, and they're just doing the leg kicks like, you know. It's like, no, we're winning. There is no halftime. We're just winning. We're on the field the whole time. No, guys, the honeymoon is over. The game is on. We're in a new war now. Gas prices are up now. Interest rates are still in the 6s. No. This is not good. We're losing, guys. We're not getting mass deportations. No, they just attacked the messenger. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Well, we did say it would be the year of the trigger. I have to say, I did not expect them to get this triggered. I thought that they would have a little more of a level head than liberals, but they don't. In fact, they're even worse in a way because they're more defensive about it. Their denial is so strong that it causes them to be way more defensive. All right, so phone calls. Here we go. Here's how it goes, guys. When I pick up the phone, you are on the air. I just ask you your name and where you're from. That's it, but you're on the air. So first caller of the show, what is your name and where are you from? Going once.
Hey, Owen, this is Mike.
All right, Mike.
I'm from Tennessee.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
I've called you actually on the other show that you were on, but I kind of wanted to call you because I felt like the way you were treated and whatever happened at the other show. I mean, that whole situation is crazy to me because watching everybody kind of like eat one another, you know, like everybody kind of just went different ways, and it was just weird. It was just weird to watch it, and I'm a big Alex fan for like 30 years. So, I mean, and now I can't even really watch him anymore because everything that you're talking about is true. Like, we are in a situation where we need to start looking at truth, and nobody wants to look at the truth. Just because we have Trump in the White House doesn't mean that, you know, the country's being saved. And if he's not going to do what we voted for him to do, then, you know, what's the point of all this? So it's just crazy watching everybody fight with one another. And I guess the reason why I'm calling is I think that I really just think that you should just let this all be and just keep doing your show and just keep, you know, telling the truth. And who cares what they think? Well,
I totally agree, Mike. I agree, and I try to do that the best I can. I'll admit I'm not perfect. I get distracted. Here's the problem that I'm kind of going through right now. It's like when this first started becoming the issue in 2016, right? It was like, okay, it was clear now what the obstacles were to get Trump across the finish line in 2016. And at that point in time, it was really, we were going against the neocons more than anything. It was a primary. Yeah, the left had their issues with Trump, but it wasn't like the incoming was from the right. The incoming was from the neocons. It was from the Bush era people. And so that's who we were really dealing with. And then the left, it was like, okay, they were there, but it was more like they just did have they had a presence, but it wasn't really impacting much. But what happened was I got to this point and it was like, okay, you know what? If you guys want to stand in our way, then we'll get you out of the way and we will humiliate you out of the way. And that's what we did. I don't want to do that right now with this MAGA cult. I don't. It's not good for anybody. I don't like doing the personal stuff. I try to avoid it as much as I can. I just want to do the news. I just want to do political play-by-play. But it's getting to this point now where it's like, I don't know what's going to wake these people up. I really don't. It's like the debt reaching all-time highs isn't doing it. The housing market becoming unaffordable isn't doing it. Gas prices not coming down. A new war in the Middle East. No mass deportations. Netanyahu in the White House every other month. It's like, at this point, I don't know what else can bring these people to reality here except maybe humiliation. okay? And I'm even putting myself out there to be humiliated. I'm asking them, here, look, I look like a crazy person. Look at my wild hair. I'm going to stick it up. I'm not going to comb it. I'm going to take my shirt off. I'm willing to put myself out here to be humiliated as long as they hear the message. It's like, I don't care. Roast me. Listen to what I'm saying. Can you address what I'm saying? Can you counter what I'm saying? And they can't. They can't. And so now it's getting to this point where it's like they just have to be roasted. So I don't know what the angle here is, except, hey, do you agree or disagree? Should people be arrested? Yes or no? And if they say yes, you say, okay, so why aren't you addressing that to Trump? Because eventually they're going to have to look up at Trump and say, okay, is this going to happen or is this not going to happen?
So majority of us have felt like this in 2020 when we were the ones being called crazy for not wanting to wear masks. We didn't want to social distance. We didn't want to do all this stuff. And we were the ones that were crazy at that time. And it's just crazy to me how everything is kind of flipped. It's just the whole thing's just turned upside down, and it's just getting worse. And I don't know what to do anymore. I feel exactly how you feel, and just let it be known that you're not alone, and we're all here still watching you. So
they're all
just
watching.
Want you to know that.
They're all watching.
So,
I appreciate that. Thank you for the call. I know we're not alone, brother. I know we're not alone. I know that. And I know my voice is one of the few out there that you feel represents your voice. And don't worry, we're not stopping. We're not going anywhere. In fact, most people would probably not even do a show when their operating system like StreamYard isn't working today. A lot of people are just giving up their shows until StreamYard gets their act together. I said, no, we're not going to do that. We'll work through it, whatever we need to do. I know, brother. It's not even, the issue is, it's like the same stuff I get from DC. The issue is how many people are willing to say it? You know, I'm willing to say it. I have a platform. I'm willing to say it. I'm willing to say it on my platform. Most people in DC aren't willing to say this stuff. Most people in politics aren't willing to say this stuff because they know what's going to happen. They know the attacks are going to come. They know the psychotic freaks and the Trump cultists are all going to come and roast them. I'm fine. I'm built for this. Let's go. Have at it. What more can they do? I've had guns pointed at me. I've been poisoned. I've been put in solitary. So it's like, what you think some MAGA cultists are going to get under my skin? No, I'm enjoying the ride. But it's just like, when do you guys want to be serious? You can make fun of Owen Schroyer for the next 2 years. When do you want to get serious? Let me know. Let me know. I'll shave my head bald. How about this? I'll shave my head bald if Trump deports 15 million people. I'll shave my head bald if Trump brings our troops home and out of the Middle East. I'll shave my head bald if Trump actually balances the budget and cuts into the debt. Like, if Trump actually does the things that we all want him to do, if there's deep state arrests, if the crooks and criminals from the Obama administration, if the crooks and criminals from the Biden administration, I'll shave my head. I'll put my head in a bag. I'll do whatever you freaks want with my hair. Whatever you guys want with the cosmetic look of Owen Schroyer, I will do it for you if any of this happens. And that's the problem, is it's not happening. I'm sorry to rant here. Let's go to the next caller. What's your name? Where you're from?
Jimmy, St. Louis.
Jimmy in St. Louis.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for taking my call, man.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, well, let me tell you, Jews outlaw and kill people for speaking the truth about them. It's throughout history. And in 1970, I was 8 years old, looking at the St. Louis newspaper for the comics or something, just learning how to read probably. And I seen this article that said Jews finally give up the claim of being turned into soap. It was a good article, but it took all those years to 1970 to stop saying that Jews were turned into soap, that they had funerals for and statues put up for soap and all that stuff. And then they have this 40 babies' heads cut off, rape, baby cooked in an oven on October 7th. You know, it's what they do.
Well, that
And,
was just another lie. That was just another lie that they used to get us to support whatever Israel wanted to do in the region. Of course, they got totally proven wrong on that. You know, I don't want to get into the revisionist history stuff. There's plenty of out there to sink your teeth into. I'd rather just get out of it. You know, it's like we can debate all day long what happened after World War II or during World War II. I'd like to, I mean, I guess you can't avoid history. You can't just, pretend it never happened. But you're never going to end the debate of what actually happened. I'd rather just figure out what's happening now. That's what I'd like. I'd like to figure out what's happening now and then what needs to be happening now and what is not happening now. So, but it's just like, when are we going to escape? When are we going to escape this post-World War II world? Now we understand it as Western countries have to suffer. Western countries have to have open borders. And Israel gets to become the main institution of power in the Middle East through the vehicle of the power of Western countries. And as all of this is going on, folks, your country is being destroyed. So we thought Trump was going to be the one to help us with that. I don't believe he has. And if you ask a MAGA person and you can just boil it down to yes and no questions, you'll find out they all agree that Trump hasn't done it as well. The only way they can work their mind around Trump being a success is if they can parrot all the propaganda talking points. But when you boil it down to, is this happening or is it not happening? Or should this happen or should this not happen? Or did this happen or did this not happen? They will all agree. Yes. Yes, Barack Obama's administration committed crimes. Okay. Should people be arrested for those crimes? Yes. If you commit crimes at that institutional level of power, you should definitely be punished. Have people been punished? No. Thank you. That's the problem. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Anthony, Louisiana.
What's up, Anthony?
My vote is for Boomer for the.
It's Boomer already.
Prop.
Boomer is the groundhog, our groundhog Boomer. It is Groundhog Day again today. The Strait is open. The Strait is closed. So, yes, so Boomer is with us here. And that is out of love for our Boomers, by the way. I don't want this to be misinterpreted. We love our Boomers. My parents were Boomers. Most of the great influences on my life were Boomers. So we love our Boomers. That's why we call our groundhog Boomer. We want you guys with us forever.
That's true. So my parents. But I wanted to mention what my frustration with this. It's pretty much common sense here. I turned on Trump last summer when he said we're sending the bombers over to nuke the sites over there to take them all out. Mission accomplished. So if we took out all the nuclear reactors over there, why the heck did we go back again in March? The mission was completed. So why are we in here again?
Gee,
I mean,
it's almost like
stomach for this.
It's almost like we're being lied to. And I don't like being lied to.
Yeah. I agree. But speaking of boomers, Roger Stone, he goes on Alex's show, shilling and fluffing Trump every chance he gets. And all he does is highlight all the 2016 accomplishments.
Nah, I'm not so concerned about that. But you know what?
Now
But
Iran is saying they're going to keep it closed until the next administration.
Yeah, well, that's what they've said. Who knows? Who knows what's the truth about what's being said and what's not? I mean, I don't know. I don't trust what's coming out of this administration, but that doesn't mean I trust what's coming out of Iran. But that's what was in the news today. Is Iran said we're not negotiating. We're in control of the Strait, and whenever Trump is out of office, we'll negotiate. So, who knows? Who knows what's really going on? But we know what's not going on. We're not getting mass deportations. We're not getting the foreign lobby out of politics. So it gets back to the same issues.
Yep, and that's what I voted for, not getting it.
Yep. Well, you're not alone. You're not alone, my friend. And maybe this is why, honestly, and the phone calls have been so great lately. It's almost like that's why I've started going to the phones more often now. Because maybe if they hear it from me, they don't like it or they don't trust it or they think I look like, some guy they can't trust or something. But it's like if I sit here and just take call after call after call after call after call after call of everybody saying the same thing. And it's like this is exactly what everybody who I run into thinks too. It's everybody I talk to thinks and feels the exact same way. It's this weird MAGA cult that has this fiefdom on X now that they run around bullying everybody and they think, oh, because I've got all these people in my echo chamber in this Trump cult that we can gang up on people and make fun of the people we want to. And it's like, hey, that's fine. Now, can you answer a basic question? Can you answer a simple, basic question? Yes or no? And the answer is no, they can't answer it. They can't answer it. And we all know why, because they're scared of the answer. Because if they answer the question, that might mean they have to start sounding like me. You don't have to look like me, and you probably never could. But you might have to sound like me, and that's a little too uncomfortable for you, I guess. I wish the haters would call in. They never call in, you know? It's too bad. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
Hey, Owen, Luke from PA. Just wanted to say keep up the good work, man. You're doing awesome. But I wanted to ask you a non-political related question. I heard you say golf. How do you shoot in golf, man? Do you shoot 70s, 80s?
Ha! I wish. I haven't played golf all year, brother. In fact, I saw Trump was back on the golf course this weekend. I was really jealous. And I was looking at that, too.
He gets to golf a lot.
He golfs a lot, and I'm okay with that, you know, if he's working hard, which he does. Not really for us, but he's working hard, so he can golf. But, no, I saw that, and I got a little jealous, actually. I was a little jealous of Trump getting to golf. I'm like, man, that's nice. That's nice that he gets to golf.
Go hit 18, man. You deserve it.
You know what? I don't have time. So if I ever get time, I'll go play golf. You know, I don't really care. I've always said I've always actually been supportive of Trump playing golf. If that's what he needs to do to decompress from working all the hours, I have no problem. I support Trump golfing entirely. But I will say it's going to get to a point now where people are going to look at it and they're going to say, how is this guy playing golf when he's started multiple wars, trade wars, real wars, can't do it's like you got all these issues, but now he's still playing golf. So that's going to become a storyline. That's going to become a storyline if it hasn't already. But it'll be if he keeps golfing, people are going to say, okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah. My man. All right, buddy. I appreciate everything you do, man.
Well, if I went out and played right now, I'd be lucky to shoot in the 90s. Just because it's been so long. If I can play consistently, I'll play in the 90s consistently. It's like if I shoot in the 80s, I played my best day. If I can get a score in the 80s, that's my best day. That's as good as I'm going to play. Usually, you know, I'll be in the 90s. But if I went out and played, I'd probably be triple digits. Yeah, I'd probably be up there, my friend. All right, let's see. Next caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Josh from Arcadia, buddy. How you doing?
All right, Josh, go ahead.
Man, what a wild time to be alive, brother.
I find solace in the audience here. You guys are the best.
It's crazy, man. And I used to call in all the time, man. I've been here since the beginning, brother, but you just gotten huge, and it's hard to get in anymore. But it's wild. We talked about this shit last year, how this is going to be an unraveling of epic proportions.
Well, I don't want to start doing the big time I told you so dances yet. We'll do a little jig every now and then. But look, you know, I don't know. I'm so turned off by the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what's better for the country at this point. I don't know if Democrats winning or Republicans winning is better. I really don't. I mean, I understand both sides. I really do. I can understand the argument of Democrats getting in there and blocking the administration and maybe forcing the Republican Party to do the reform it needs. I can also see the argument of, hey, Democrats can't be allowed near power anytime ever after what they did with Biden. I understand both sides. I'm really not sure. I think there's a fair argument on both sides of it right now. But I just think it's funny. I think it's sad that yet again, here are people responding to me saying I'm voting Democrat that I never said. I literally have never said that. I've never said I'm voting Democrat, and yet I have all these people attacking me saying, look, he should go back to jail. You know, that's what they're saying. They're saying Trump should put Owen Schroyer back in jail because he's not a proud member of the Trump cult. It's like that's how pathetic.
That's crazy shit, man.
That's how pathetic these people have fallen. And it's just like, look, I don't really do the whole I'm not going to do like a spite vote. Like, hey, F you people. How about I put Democrats in power and join them and we put your ass in jail? It's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a spite run. That's not what I want to do. That's not who I am. But yet
No, we just want common sense in that damn.
It's like, but it's like, what do you guys think is going to happen to American patriots like me when you continue to bully us with foreign interests, and then if we don't kowtow and cuck to your foreign interests, you say, oh, you belong in jail? Like,
yeah,
look at what these people
wild,
have become.
Man. They're worse than the fucking libtards.
That's
nowadays,
what I'm saying.
That's the craziest part.
That's what I'm saying. And
today,
you know what? And I saw this over the weekend.
Today is the first time I've ever shut Jones off on a podcast. And when he started in with the hair, I was like, come on, Jones, get over it, bro. I mean, I'm so tired. It's like, did you not see his experiment? You're not listening to his words and what he speaks. You're judging him by his looks. You guys aren't getting the big fucking picture, guys. You're not getting it. You know what I mean? They don't understand it. I don't know. But you got bacon cheeseburger nationalists in your chat, buddy. It sucks that you couldn't get it going with Seraphin. I know you'll do it at another time, but we're all the same people, man. We're all the same. We all think the same. Right now.
I know it. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I saw it over the weekend. I think the question was asked on this show last week. I said, it might have been 2 weeks ago. I said, who is more cringe now, liberals or MAGA? And I saw some headlines over the weekend that basically asked that same question. Folks, they're all listening. They're all listening. Okay? And I get it. I would want to listen to me too. You watch some of these guys and you can tell they don't even follow the news. You know, it's like they're not even following the news at all. It's just Trump cheerlead 24/7. Just like, what can I do to cheerlead for Trump? What can I do to defend Trump today? It's like, do you guys even follow anything? Do you even know what's going on out there? Do you even have a clue? Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Darren, Birmingham.
All right, Darren, go ahead.
So, Owen, Roger Stone has unconditional support still to this day for Trump. Do you denounce that part of Roger Stone?
I don't understand what you're saying. What?
Well, okay, every day you rail against MAGA. Roger Stone is still very MAGA. He still loves supporting Trump. Do you denounce that? Yes or no?
No, I don't denounce that. And you know what? This isn't even to justify it, but first of all, I don't like doing the whole denounce thing, so I'm kind of just humoring you with that. Why
don't you denounce it? Because Roger is a friend of yours?
Roger is a friend of mine, and if Roger wants to continue to support Trump, then I have no problem with that. And let me explain a little thing here, and I know you probably know this, but let me just put it into words. There's a good chance that Trump saved Roger's life. And Trump himself might credit Roger with saving Donald Trump's life, because Donald Trump was supposed to be on a helicopter one day that ended up crashing and the people on it died. And the only reason Trump did not get on that helicopter is because Roger Stone brought him to some other political event and he didn't get on the copter. And so Trump kind of looked at that like, Roger saved his life. And I think that Trump saved Roger's life. Roger was probably going to die in jail if Trump didn't give him the pardon. So you know what? They have a different relationship. I'm not going to denounce Roger Stone for supporting Trump. I'm not going to denounce anybody for the decisions that they make, whether who they support or not. I just don't like playing that game. But I will disagree. And obviously I have no problem criticizing Trump.
Okay, I mean, that's perfectly fine that you're still friends with Roger. Nothing wrong with that. But you could also say that Trump kind of saved your life. You've said numerous times you don't regret voting for him because of what they did for the J6ers, and I agree with you 100% for that. But even with all that said, you can still denounce everything that Trump is doing, and I agree with you on that too.
Sure. I mean, I think maybe this is more semantical than anything else. Just do you denounce or not? And it's just like, I don't want to stake a denouncement on anybody. But I served my full time. That's the other thing that I think people are misunderstanding. I served my full time, and I even completed my probation. So by the time I got the pardon from Trump, everything was already said and done. which doesn't, it doesn't change really the larger effect of the people he got released from prison, but they make it like it's all about me, and it's not all about me.
Yeah, and I remember at that time, because I listened to you for 10 years at the previous place. And by the way, I still listen to Alex too, and I've followed you over to your new place. So listeners out there, you can still listen to both. I'm still a big fan of yours, and I remember at that time, man, I felt terrible for you, what you had to go through, solitary confinement and everything else. So you are an absolute warrior, and this, probably is a little bit semantics. I still think, though, you could denounce that part of Roger still just unconditionally following Trump. I mean.
Well, I will say this though. Let me say this as a final statement. And I get the frustration, actually. I totally get the frustration. I guess the difference is now, because you're kind of seeing me heated up a little bit, my rule is always the same. I don't draw first blood. I don't draw first blood. So the only reason why I'm getting a little more hot under the collar with some of these MAGA people is because they're coming after me more and more harder every day. And it's like, I was okay with the first, hairpocalypse ride, and that was funny and it was fun. And I invited the roast. I said, let's do it. Go ahead, have the roast. But it's just like, we're months past this now. The things that I was addressing in those videos where people were talking about the hair, none of these things have been addressed by the administration yet. And so it's just like, unless somebody comes at me directly, I don't really want to go into their lane. They can have different political views. But now that it's like the MAGA incoming is like, I'm like the hottest target now. It's like nonstop with these people incoming. And I just ask the basic question. I just ask the same basic questions. What is the number of people that need to be deported? 20 million? Are you going to get it? No. Why are you complaining at me? Did Barack Obama administration, the Biden administration, do they commit crimes? Do people need to go to jail? Yes. Are they going to jail? No. Why are you complaining at me? Does the debt need to be taken care of? Yes. Is Trump helping with the debt? No. Why are you coming after me? So it's getting to this point now where I'm not in like a WWE, like rope-a-dope, run against the ropes and run and dodge and jump around. Now it's like, okay, you're going to come try to put me into a suplex. Now I have to reverse it on you. Now I have to do a wrestling move and reverse you and pin you to the ground, and you can start answering questions. I don't need to answer questions about my hair. I don't need to answer questions about my look. You want to talk politics? Let's talk politics. Answer the questions. Ignore the hair. They can't do it. So it's getting a little more heated. And I kind of addressed this last week too. I said, I can see MAGA, the people that still support, they're starting to break. They're starting to pivot. It's becoming undeniable at this point. And the heat of the midterms are starting to scorch their skin a little bit, starting to scorch the short hairs a little bit. And they know there's going to be nobody to blame. If the Republicans can't win the midterms, there's nobody to blame except them and Trump. That's it. They'll find every way to avoid that blame, but they know it. They can feel it. And so the age of denial is coming to an end. Now it's the age of pivot. And they pivot to selling hope, or they pivot to attacking the messenger. This whole thing is coming down, man. I mean, it is just coming down fast. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
Oh, and it's Jefferson in Virginia. Good to talk to you.
Hey, Jefferson. Been a minute. How are you?
It's been more than a minute. You haven't played golf in a year?
Honestly, I would say the last time I played was when I shot that video after leaving InfoWars.
Yeah, it was like a week after leaving InfoWars.
So yeah, it's been about a year. Yeah.
Well, the head of the DNI now, Jay Clayton, former SEC director, is a very good golfer. So if he ends up being one of Trump's golf partners, it would be interesting to know what they're talking about on the golf course, outside of microphone range. But what is Trump doing? Do you think Trump is going to betray everybody in the end? He's just going to expose the uniparty corruption and basically say, look, I'm going to betray Israel. I'm going to do what needs to be done. I'm going to lock everybody up. Is this all a big sting operation? He's just going to say, look, I've been exposing these criminals for like 7 years now, and you've all got to have caught on that you're being run by criminals, and I'm going to fix it. But this involves, I think he's going to have to declassify things like fusion and zero-point energy to make the economy rebound after he crashes the whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is kind of like the QAnon. This is like the QAnon dimension that you're referencing here. I mean, you're not mentioning it directly, but I mean that's kind of like the QAnon belief. And going down that train of thought, you know, my theory would be it's like the QAnon says save Israel for last, and then it says the first arrest will shock the world. So I interpret that as the first arrest is going to be Trump. Trump is going to be the first arrest, and then he's going to say, okay, I will take a plea agreement. And then I will tell you all the criminals in Washington, D.C. I'll tell you all the people that I did all the bad deals with. I'll tell you all this stuff. So it's like, I guess if you're going down that line of thought, maybe that's how you think it goes down. I don't know. I don't. If you want to trust that plan, and there are plenty of people that do, or you want to put faith in Trump, there's plenty of people that do. I guess that's the conclusion. I mean, I don't know. That's why I say if you're still supporting Trump, you have to believe that, right? I mean, if you're still supporting Trump right now, it's not off of the results of this administration. There's no way. If you're still supporting Trump right now, it's because you believe in some larger plan that ultimately is going to come to fruition at the end of this administration. I don't see how you can still support it.
You keep saying Bessent is the best Treasury Secretary ever. And, you know, I keep saying, well, I don't know where your economic numbers are coming from, where you think things are great. I mean, Massey just said we're going to run $3 trillion deficits for the next 10 years at least. So we're going to add $30 trillion to our unsustainable debt to begin with. How are we going to make the interest payments on all that? And Trump keeps talking about this golden economic age that he sees in our near future. And, you know, most of the people that are trying to support him are just sort of like hanging on, expecting things to get better, but it doesn't seem to be happening fast enough for most of us to really agree with him. So it's sort of a tone deafness, unless he knows something dramatic is going to take place to make the golden age take place for a larger number of people in his support group. It just seems like he must know something we don't know that's going to be big, that's about to break. But, you know, they just announced that he thinks the Strait of Hormuz is going to be sort of obsolete here soon when they get the underground pipeline finished and 70 to 50% of all the oil can be transferred out of that area, not going out of the Strait of Hormuz through the Persian Gulf. So I hadn't heard much about the underground.
That's a total pipe dream. That's a total pipe dream. No pun intended. They don't have any plans. They have they talked about it in a meeting. There's no real plans or infrastructure for that. So it's probably it's probably maybe a head fake against Iran too. It's like, oh, Iran, we're going to go around you. So Iran's like, oh, we better get a deal. So we have the strait. I don't think there's anything serious there.
Well, there's other things that you can't send through a pipeline that you got to ship by ships too. So, you know, like fertilizer and things like that. But it's just,
you know, but here's the question. Let me ask you this though, because I don't know. I look at it now as just, it's like, let's look at the odds. And I feel like the highest odds right now are that, you know, Trump is basically just up there flying from the seat of his pants. You know, it feels like this is just a live reality TV show now, and Trump really doesn't have any plan. The only plan is lights, camera, action, and I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to talk every day. And that seems to be the only plan. It really doesn't seem to be like whatever ideas or plans that they had long-term or like schematics for long-term stuff, none of it is happening. And so all you get is just Trump up there with he just runs his mouth every day. That's what it seems like. It just seems like lights, camera, action. Okay, Trump talks, end of day, whatever happens, happens.
Well, did you see his latest explanation for why we need the data centers?
I don't know. Add it to the list.
Well, he says now, because they're going to have their own power generation plants within them, that's going to make electricity cheaper for everybody that's near them, because the excess electricity will be sold back to the energy providing companies, so they'll have more energy than they need, and the rates will go down for people. But what kind of energy power plant is going to be hidden inside a data center plant? Are you ever going to know what the power plant actually is?
Come on,
Do you
Jefferson.
get to inspect it? No.
No, come on, Jefferson. You're going to get unlimited power, okay? You're going to get unlimited power from the AI data centers. That vaccine is safe and effective, okay? We won the war 40 times. We controlled the Strait of Hormuz, and Donald Trump's approval rating is 150%, bro. Come on. Come on, Jefferson. Good Lord, Jefferson. He calls into the show. He knew that. It's good to hear from Jefferson again. How about that? Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Sydney, Alabama.
You're breaking up. Can we try that again?
Yeah.
Tell you what, we got a bad connection, brother. I'm going to put you on hold, and maybe we can get better reception. I'm going to take the final break of the show, but we just have bad reception on your end right now. So maybe we can correct that after a short break.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
You know, there seems to be this complacency issue in right-wing politics. I guess that's how I would summarize it. Where it's like, hey, you know, as long as the Republicans are in power, as long as the Democrats aren't in power, it's all good. You know, nothing matters as long as we are in power. And it's some weird, like, confidence act, some ride that they're on. Meanwhile, other people are demanding results. You know, how much do I want to lean into it today? How much do I want to lean into it today? Because there's certain things that are just undeniable. There's certain things that you just cannot deny right now. And I guess look at since Trump has entered politics, specifically since he was inaugurated. In 2018, we saw internet censorship take place, the worst we've ever seen. We have never recovered from that. So Trump is the president, or Trump was the president when internet censorship began. Trump was president for that, didn't do anything about it. Trump was president when arguably the biggest riots we have ever seen on our streets, the most organized, well-funded of all time, that all happened in 2020 under President Trump. Now, ironically enough, as these riots were happening out in the streets, Trump locked down the country. Trump and Fauci and the rest of them locked down the country and said 2 weeks to slow the spread, made us wear masks. It was the most authoritarian time in the history of our country. That happened under Donald Trump. There was a stolen election under Donald Trump. How about the increase in debt? No president has increased the debt like Donald Trump. Look at the numbers of the cost of living from the day Trump got into office to today. Talking about almost 33% increase. That has happened since Trump. So these are undeniable facts. And you can be mad at the messenger, and you can insult the messenger's looks, and you can call the messenger all the different names and insults in the books that you want. But the messenger still stated facts. And at the end of the day, what is Trump's legacy going to be if he left office right now? That's what it would be. Censorship, lawfare, stolen elections, vaccines, lockdowns, masks. Oh, and I guess throw this one in there too. You commit crimes, your administration and Obama, nothing happens. You commit crimes in your administration with Biden, nothing happens. You facilitate an invasion into this country, 20 million illegal aliens, nothing happens. You steal an election, nothing happens. But you know what does happen? We're going to turn America into an AI surveillance center, an AI surveillance state data center, and we're going to have another war in the Middle East as long as Israel has the necessary for it. That's Trump's legacy today, and you cannot tell me otherwise. You tell me what Trump's legacy is if it's not that. You tell me. Did Trump clean up the budget? No. Did Trump get us out of the Middle East? No. Did Trump stop the military-industrial complex? No. Did Trump stop insider trading? Did Trump drain the swamp? Did Trump arrest the deep state? Did Trump do mass deportations? What's Trump's legacy then? You tell me. What is Donald Trump's political legacy? Increased debt, internet censorship, authoritarian lockdowns, more big pharma, more foreign influence, big agriculture influence, all of it. You got all the bad stuff. But hey, at least boys aren't competing in girls' sports. Oh, wait, they are. And now that's trending again. How about that? Now boys competing in girls' sports is trending again because there's nothing else. There's nothing else for these MAGA cultists to talk about because Trump is not delivering. That'll enrage them. That one will really tick them off. Oh boy, I invite this trouble on myself. All right, throw the red meat out to the cult with that one. All right, phone lines are back open. 747-255-60, 747-255-60. Phone lines are back open. Let's see here. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from? Next caller going once.
What's going on, Nolan?
What's your name? Where are you from?
Kevin, right from Dallas.
All right, Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'm sick of people making excuses for Trump and certain people that shall not be named right now. But it's always, oh, he got tricked. He didn't know what he was doing. This guy, he's been in the cult. You know, he's been in the masonry, Freemasonry. You know, all his family was involved in all that. They've been part of the whole system. So, and he was a Democrat. I mean, he was buddies with Bill and Hillary Clinton. I mean, what did we expect? It was all hopium from the beginning. We were like, he's going to save us all. No, man. We were just praying, but we know what's really going to happen.
Well, Trump is on a path to prove the liberals right now. Trump is on more of a path to prove liberals right than the conservatives that supported him.
Well, I think he was just a Trojan horse, and you know he's intentionally getting the Democrats in because he's like, oh yeah, we don't care about anyone's financial situation. He's doing all of the things to wreck the chances for the Republicans to get anyone in. I mean, and everyone that he does get in are just obviously rhinos or, you know, the pro-war guys. But I just think he's been with the cult from the beginning, and he's just gonna keep pushing that ball down the court for the Satanists and the New World Order. So,
well, I guess that's the question. And the problem is now there can't be any real reform on the right wing because Trump has full control of the party. And if you don't get in lockstep with Trump, AIPAC will unseat you like they did Massey, or they'll just do a hostile attack on you like they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So there's no agency right now for true conservatives or patriots amongst the right wing. The right wing is just a vehicle now for the foreign lobby and the donor class. Now, I guess to get to what you're saying, we have to ask ourselves, did Trump mean anything he said ever? You know, all the things that Trump talked about in order to sound like us and make it sound like he was going to do the things we wanted him to do or we needed him to do. Was any of it, does he even know what he said? Was it all just him reading off a teleprompter? Was it all just empty promises? Did something else happen along the way? Or maybe, and I think this has to be the only conclusion if you still support Trump, is that you just believe it's, QAnon. You just believe in some QAnon outcome of this. And when it all shakes out in the end, Trump is going to have the final master card, the final, master chess move and put everybody in checkmate. I mean, that's the only thing you can believe right now, because as far as the day-to-day and the results of this administration, it is undeniably not good. It is undeniably not what he ran and campaigned and won on. So unless you believe in QAnon or some outcome like that, I don't know how you can still support Trump right now. And now I ask, I'm like, did he mean any of it? Was any of it real? Did he ever mean mass deportations? Did he ever mean what he said about the Middle East and stopping the forever wars? That's the only question I think we have to wonder now. Or maybe we think about it too much. I'm kind of reaching that conclusion, to be honest. I'm starting to reach the conclusion that we just take Trump way too seriously. We're all just distracted by the Trump TV show, that we listen to him and we think he means anything he says, and he just makes stuff up. He just goes out there and does a live reality TV show. You might as well watch, Jersey Shore. You might as well watch Jersey Shore and take the things that they say seriously. It's like it starts to feel like that. Like there's nothing really serious. It's just lights, camera, action, and Trump just bullshits for 7 hours a day, and then it's all said and done. And it's, what makes it worse, though? It's because Biden was such a disappearing act that now the Trump reality show, 7-8 hours a day, it feels more overbearing because Biden was just a no-show. So it's like even more in your face and obnoxious because of the juxtaposition against Biden. And then you add the lack of results into it, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And then you see the MAGA people, the cultists, still supporting it, and you're just like, holy smokes, this whole thing is collapsing all around me. And what's crazy? He brings up the Democrats winning. I'm looking at this, and you've got Francesca Hong in Wisconsin. I mean, this woman, it's like El Said, I can get. That's electable. It's like I can understand why people would elect leftists. I can understand why people would elect an AOC. It's like some of this stuff I can comprehend. It's like, yeah, I'm not the only person that exists. I understand other people exist and they think differently, vote differently. Francesca Wong is like, Hong Wong is how is this isn't even electable? Like, this woman is not even electable. And she's the favorite to win governor in Wisconsin. To me, this is that would be like the worst I think I've ever seen. I mean, that's like, we've seen some good ones. I mean, Lori Lightfoot, whoa. And there have been some other Goonies, but never a statewide. It's always local. The weirdest we've seen statewide is maybe like Tim Walz. Might be the biggest oddball we've seen at a statewide. Most of this stuff is very local. Mayors, representatives, like that's where some of the oddballs get through. If this Hong Wong becomes the next governor of Wisconsin, I mean, what? And Trump won Wisconsin, by the way. If a socialist wins a governor's race in Wisconsin that Trump won the prior election cycle, I mean, folks, that tells you that's everything right there. And I'm like, this should be such an easy midterm, actually. This should be the easiest midterm ever for Republicans. If there was ever a midterm where you go into it thinking we can actually win in the midterms after a presidential election, we can actually avoid the flipping of the House or the Senate traditionally, as we see many times in a midterm. We can avoid that. This was the one. This was the one with the populism of Trump. This was the one with the big MAGA coalition, left, center, right, everything in between. This was the one with populist, nationalist, common sense policy and promises. It's like this was the one where you'd say, okay, Trump can have a 4-year run here. Trump can have a 4-year run with Republicans and we can get this stuff done. And the whole thing has gone so off the rails that a socialist, a bug-eyed female socialist Hong Wong is the leader to win a governor's race in Wisconsin. That's really the measuring stick right there, I think. If that happens in Wisconsin, that shows you, I think that's the total disaster of Trump. I really do. El Sayed, people will vote for him. He's got a good campaign. He's a good speaker. He's got some good winning issues. Hong Wong has nothing. She's just a raw socialist. That's it. Running for a governor's mansion in a state that Trump just carried in the prior election cycle. If a socialist can flip Wisconsin after Trump, I mean, folks, that tells you what a disaster Trump is. I'm sorry. Let's just be honest. That's purely people who would have carried Wisconsin for Trump either saying, I'm never voting for this again, or I'm going to go vote for the opposite of this because this is so bad. It should be so easy. They're running around with Hassan Piker, and there's these clips. You know, Hassan Piker, he's got all kinds of controversial clips. The dog shocking, the campaigning for open borders to destroy the white race. It's like this, and he's campaigning with these people. This should be a layup. This should be the easiest midterm election ever for Republicans. They're running radical socialists, and they're campaigning with Hassan Piker, who has so many clips that you can roll and say, look at who Democrats are campaigning with. And it should be easy for you to win the midterms. And it's so hard. It's an uphill battle now because of Trump, because this administration has been such an abysmal letdown and disaster. And they'll sit here and they'll watch these socialists win. And they'll shake their head and they can't believe it. Oh my gosh, they'll stomp their foot and pound their fist. Oh my gosh, these socialists. Yeah, you guys did this. You guys did this. We gave Trump everything to save this country. We did it all in the 2024 election. We did everything we were supposed to do, and we got screwed. And instead of you guys turning it around and saying, hey, get back on track, instead you bent over, you opened your mouth, you polished the balls, you shined the shoes, and now socialists are about to win in the midterms, and you can't even wake up? You can't even get your head out of Trump's derriere to ask why, after Trump won a presidential election and got the majority, or the popular vote rather, why socialists are winning? You can't even pull your head out of Trump's ass long enough to smell the roses here and see what's going on here? Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, next caller. What's your name, where you're from?
Hello, me?
Yes, what's your name, where you're from?
Oh, call me Grandma. I'm from Reno, Tahoe area.
All right.
I was born in 1961, and I'm going to expand the scope a tiny bit, and I'm going to go very quickly. I caught the very tail end of the actual America. And what I am watching is a collapsed civilization. Our civilization is collapsing completely. And I don't think I'm going to be alive to see what happens, what it becomes when we come out of the other side of this. We were solidly middle class. Everybody was when I was young. We are now living in depression level financial right now. We have nothing and everything, and we were doing very well before. And that's pretty much my point. This civilization is gone, and everything that we had going for us, they destroyed. And everything I believed in was false. I was the first Trumper. I mean, back when my son was a baby in the late 80s, early 90s. I can't even look at him anymore. So the civilization is gone. The United States that we know and love is no longer here. And we have to adjust.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like the adjustment is going to be people voting outright leftist socialists into power. That's the problem. And then that's, again, this was supposed to be our correction. This was supposed to be our adjustment. Trump was our guy to get in there and reform Washington, D.C. And instead, he's just handed everything over to the donor class, and it's likely going to result in hardcore leftist socialists getting into power is what it looks like that's going to be. And so for somebody like you that just deals with this reality, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. How are MAGA people going to spin that one? How are MAGA people going to spin it if Trump gets out of office and none of the big issues got taken care of and socialists take over? I wonder how they're going to. They're probably going to blame us, is what I guess they're going to do. That's probably their move. Next caller, what's your name? Where you're from?
Hey, this is Michael. I'm calling from Chicago.
All right, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm a huge fan of you all, and I've been listening to you for a long time, following for a long time. I'll keep it short on that end. But I wanted to explain what I think Donald Trump is, and then also where I think we're heading towards. So Donald Trump is the result of the great Babylon working between Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, and Aleister Crowley. Born on a blood moon, 1946. You can go down the rabbit hole and look into that.
I looked at the Moonchild. I did. I looked at that. It's pretty crazy.
Stuff.
It is. It's insane.
And so if Donald Trump is the crowned and conquering Moonchild and he's going to usher in the super beast, I think that AI and robotics, they're going to do to humanity what automobiles did to horses. You know, they just, you see them around, but nobody rides horses like they used to put it in layman's terms. I think it's all just been a long process we've been living through. I hate to be like doom and gloom, but just wanted to throw that out there. And yeah, just a huge fan, Owen, and you're doing a great job. Thank you again for everything.
Thank you for the call. You know what? This is an interesting, that's interesting to sink your teeth into, because I love the analogy of the horses and humans. You know, horses used to be the way that we would, transport goods ourselves, whatever, horse and buggy. And obviously nobody's getting around on horses anymore. Everybody rides a car. And so is the same thing going to happen with AI and robotics and autonomous robots to humans. It's like you used to go and you'd see humans working at a site, and now you're just going to see robots. You're going to see autonomy. I love that analogy. You know, as far as the Moonchild conspiracy theory is concerned, it's very interesting, right? I mean, you can look at these things and, I mean, the things line up. It's like a connect the dots, and then you connect the dots, and there's a clear picture when you're finished connecting the dots. The only issue I have with that stuff is, and I'm too young, maybe you might say, to reach these conclusions, but yet, you know, this is just how it's been for me. When you kind of get into these wild-eyed conspiracies like that, where it's impossible to prove true or not, you kind of just have to lean on results. And so I don't know. I don't put too much into that stuff. It's interesting. I like to look at it, if for nothing else, you know, curiosity purposes or just knowing when people call in and talk about it. But to me, there's something that is undeniable, and it's like what you said. Our civilization is about to be turned over to AI and robotics. I mean, this is coming. This is the design. And you don't even have to look forward. Just go back. In fact, I watched the movie Heat this weekend. It was a good movie. It wasn't one of my favorites. I'd say 4 out of 5 stars for now. I've only seen it once, but I watched Heat. A lot of people talking about it. And you know, here's what I noticed the most about the film. I think Heat was 1994, I believe. And it really is incredibly well written. But what I notice is, okay, there's no smartphones, right? It's like, it's just people. It's people interacting at the bar. It's people interacting at the restaurant. It's people interacting at the stadium, at the concert, at the park. It's like, that's gone. It's like it's gone. Seriously. How often can you walk into an event, big or small? How often can you walk into a venue, big or small, and it's humans interacting with one another? Nowadays, how many humans interacting with one another versus how many humans are interacting with their phone? How many humans are looking down at their phone? It's in a line. It's everywhere. To me, that represents where civilization is going, where humanity is going. And then you look at kind of the political government aspect of it, forget left and right, and just look at it from, well, how does it impact me? What is my bottom line? Well, it seems like with every generation, more and more government emerges. With every generation, there's more daily transactions with the government. With every generation, there's more painstaking regulation, more tax burden, more expectations, more penetrating your daily lives. Now it's in your car. Now it's on your phone. Now it's all plugging into the AI. So we all have this sense. We all have this sense of the human experience that we grew up with. The human experience, the civilization, all the things that we grew up in are all going away. So I can sit here and say, did you hear about Donald Trump Moonchild conspiracy and how they birthed him intentionally on the full moon on the 14th day when the right, you know, stars were aligned and then the parent from this bloodline and the parent from this bloodline, if they had a baby on June 14th, it would be considered the Moonchild and they would destroy. So it's like, okay, I can go into that stuff and it's interesting. It's curious. It's to a certain degree undeniable. But is it real? I don't know. Here's what I know is real. I grew up going to baseball games. I grew up going to concerts where we lived the experience. We were there. We were in it. We experienced it together. Even to a certain degree, cable television is a bit of a representation of this because we would all watch the same stuff. It was still a communal moment where if you went to school the next day and everybody was watching the TV show or everybody was watching the game or whatever movie premiered, it's like, you know, you get to the schoolyard the next day, whatever, you're talking about it. So there was still that commonality. There was still that common touch, that common factor. It's all gone. Everybody watches their own crap. Everybody watches their own slop. Most people just order food in. They don't even go out anymore. They're out, they're looking at this. How many concerts can you go to where people are actually in the crowd singing, dancing, jumping, having fun, experiencing the show? That's undeniable. That is happening. And so now you ask, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is it being done for a purpose, or is it organic? And this is beyond left or right. But this is why many of us are saying, hey, let's just take a pause here. Let's take a pause on this AI. Let's take a pause on this flock camera, Axon camera, all this stuff, this data centers. Hey, whoa, guys, we're rushing into this. We're still like in the shock factor here of just the smartphones. We're still figuring out like, okay, wait a second. What goes on around here now? What is spying on us? What is good for us? What is not? Is this blasting my brain? Is it reading my thoughts? Or is it connecting me to my friends and family? Is this making life easier? Is there a cost with that? We're still trying to figure all this out. And now here comes the big one. AI, data centers, surveillance state, Skynet, and it's just like being lowered on us. Like you can hear it like beep, beep, beep. It's a construction project. And here they are lowering it on us. And we're all looking up at this saying, wait a second, hold on now. We are still figuring out all this stuff. Can we hold that before you drop that on us? And the Trump administration says, nope, it's coming down. Beep, beep. And if you don't like it, we're going to crush you with it. But I guess this is all a little too outside the lines, maybe, for political talk. But everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Owen, it's Willie, San Diego.
What's up, Willie?
Hey, we're boomers out here, but, you know, all of this doom and gloom, we were out on Friday the 13th of March, 2020. That's when we had enough of it, when he shut the whole thing down. But, hey, it just proves one thing. No matter who you vote for, you get the Adelsons, right?
Well, one of them now, Marion, at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, down through the last 10 years.
Or Soros,
anyway.
or Soros. You get Adelson or Soros. You get Adelson,
Right.
which means more war in the Middle East, or you get Soros, which means more war in your streets.
Right. Hey, but there's some good news. The good news is we're winning the court of public opinion with this TPUSA cover-up. It's getting totally exposed.
Oh, boy.
And there's so much information and leads coming in from we the people. You know, we've got a new independent, open source, decentralized way of getting to the truth now. And we got to get the likes of, you know, you think of what you want about Candace, but Barron, Coleman, and Diligent Dennison, Stu, and others, we got to get them all together via Zoom or Spaces, or better yet, in person, to solidify this incredible evidence that's totally being gathered by all of us. This collective meeting must be accomplished soon to make this information unavoidable to the public and the defense team.
Well,
The
I do
evidence is
anticipate.
overwhelming.
I do anticipate some sort of event, let's say, like that is inevitable. I do think that is inevitable. You know, the problem is, and I don't want to get into, you know, again, I don't come into beef with anybody that's not, you know, actually in politics making policy or legislation that hurts me. And I always say I'm not drawing first blood, but if you come after me, I'll come after you. So I can get along with everybody, and I don't mind getting into a political debate or disagreement. I can still get along with you. But I do find it weird. It's like, why is it so hard to either schedule these debates? Now, I had an issue with obviously the technical issues in StreamYard, and that's why I had to ask Andrew Wilson to push our debate back. I don't know where it stands right now. I'm going to have to find another end around to deal with those technical issues. But it's just like, why is it so hard to get people to come together on this or get people to debate on this? Why is it like, but I think there is a truth to this. Everybody is so damn busy. I mean, everybody's so damn busy. Everybody's schedules are so filled up all the time. And it just, maybe that's what it is. It's like, well, why is everybody so busy? Well, everybody's got bills to pay. Everybody's got bills to pay. Everybody's got to be working 24/7 to pay the bills. So it's just like, I guess that's why, but I think it's inevitable. All the names you mentioned will eventually probably find themselves either on a stream or in a room to do a debate, a conference, whatever. I feel it's inevitable. You know, once the actual trial starts is when you're probably going to start to see something like that manifest.
It's just absolutely fascinating to watch all of these different creators. My wife Karen, you remember her? She and I are just fascinated with Spaces, with Diligent, and this new guy Zach Costello on YouTube, and a bunch of, and they're all coming up with different plugins, and they're all questions that have no answers yet, and we got to bring them together and get this thing straightened out, because we know one thing: the Fed slop that we're being fed is our only thing we can count on to not be true.
You don't believe whoa. You don't believe your Fed slop? That's a crime against the administration. You don't trust the government?
We got to answer questions. Owen, there's people on both sides of the fence, or I say sheep on both sides of the fence. One side wants Tyler dead and lined up with a pack of L&Ms and a blindfold, and the other side wants to free him. Why don't we just find out the frickin' truth and find out what he did and how he was involved, instead of wanting to kill him or free him? The truth needs to surface. It's like a frickin' beach ball under the water. It has to come to the surface.
Yeah, that's that one is just hanging out there, isn't it? That one's just hanging out there till the trial gets started, really, I would say. That's when it'll get more interesting. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
Dan from Ohio.
All right.
Hey, I'm a boomer. I'm 62. I'm going to talk for a minute here. When Trump went in, I think he was there to do the right thing. But I think in like 2018 or 2019, they said, come here, we got something. And they showed him video of doing horrible things to children, and they owned him. And during COVID was a test to see how compliant the people would be. And what happened is they couldn't believe how compliant people be, because so many people trusted Trump. They were trusting the plan, going along with the lockdowns. And, I have boomer friends that would say, oh, you don't understand. They're locking people up right now. This is all part of the plan.
They did.
Cleaning out the government.
They did. I remember I went to the rally in Dallas outside of that jail for Shelley Luther. And really, I think that is what ended up getting her out. And I remember being in the streets. For people that were following my content at that time, you may remember when they first did the shutdowns, I went out with some of my friends here just to force the police to see what they would do, to see if the police would actually enforce it or not. They came up to us and tried to, and we said no. And ultimately, they left us alone. So we put that to the test. We won out in the streets. Now, depending on other issues, for example, I took that fight to my fitness club. They suspended me for 2 months. I ran into issues every time I flew. I ran into issues every time I would go to the grocery store. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you have to deal with security. I think they probably, I don't know. I mean, maybe they were shocked at the level of compliance, but I actually think we won that round. I think they thought they'd lock us all up and force us all to take a shot, and that would be it. And I think we actually, I think we held that off a lot.
Well, I agree to an extent, but I think it was a test, and a lot of people failed that. And I think, there was a lot of people that was saying, like, the day before the inauguration, that Trump was going to declare martial law, and they were supporting martial law after 15 days to flatten the curve. That's how brainwashed the MAGA cult is. And what I think, and I predicted the day that Biden took office, nobody would support the lockdowns in the Trump world. And they all said, oh, the hell with this. We're done with lockdowns. We're done with all these mandates. And all of a sudden, they became vigilant again. And I think they thought with the Biden administration, they could be a little more forceful. After Trump got a fully approved vaccine for Biden to mandate, but they saw the people wouldn't be compliant. So what they did is they had everybody believe all this trust in Trump. And what they did is all the people that would normally fight government tyranny are asleep now, trusting the plan, making every excuse for these data centers and flock cameras and mRNA vaccines and just piling on the debt.
Well, did you see they're celebrating that? They're celebrating that again today. The Trump White House is celebrating the mRNA shots today. Did you see that one?
Yeah. And, we have a real bad so-called conservative. Now, I'm not putting you in this, but the mainstream conservatives, they have, like my buddy who's a big Trumper, he has a list of people that are safe he can listen to, and he will not listen to anybody outside of that. He was a huge fan of Douglas McGregor when McGregor called out the failures of the Biden administration in Ukraine, but now McGregor's calling out the failures of the Trump administration. Well, we no longer listen to him.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I thought for sure you were not going to say that. Wow. Now, I'd say this. McGregor has a very high batting average, and it's hard to actually measure accuracy when you're dealing with foreign affairs, foreign policy, and foreign entanglements, because it's hard to even know what the truth is. But McGregor has been more close to on target than probably anyone else, I would say, since the beginning of specifically the Ukraine-Russia war, but this is now expanded into the Middle East as well. McGregor's intel and direction has been the closest to the target of anybody else I've seen out there. I thought for sure you were going to go a different direction, and maybe he misinterpreted something that McGregor said, when actually McGregor's been very critical of the foreign policy under Biden and Trump. He's virtually been saying the same thing. And so isn't that isn't that such the perfect analogy? It's like McGregor says the exact same thing for 24 months, but for 12 months you like it, and for 12 months you don't, even though he says the exact same thing.
Right. Well, and the other thing is the media that these people listen to, they're all cheerleaders. The Benny Johnsons, the Graham Allens, the Bonginos, the Levins, the Hannitys. These people will never call anything out. They will endorse government tyranny. They have no problem with it.
Well, you just mentioned
Trump is doing it.
You just mentioned a bunch of people that publicly say they put Israel first. I mean, Dan Bongino has said it. Mark Levin, obviously. I mean, you name it. These are all people that put Israel first. So, of course, they love what's happening right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, I'm the guy who called and acted like I was a Trump supporter, and I told you I was blowing smoke up your rear. I don't know if you remember when I called you.
I remember.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah. But, yeah, I cannot believe what we are witnessing. And, we should have seen it day 2 when he brought out Larry Ellison and promised him $500 billion to build these mRNA AI vaccines. And I think Ellison got that money and he was able to buy TikTok and CBS. I mean, Trump has handed out so much government money. He's added $3.9 trillion, and it's not even 2 years yet.
No, Trump has added more to the debt than any other president.
Yeah, but I know I rambled on. I don't want to, prevent other callers from calling in.
No, it was good.
But I just feel like so many people, they will gladly go along with tyranny under Trump. They go to sleep. They just don't see it. Well, there's a bigger plan. There's a bigger plan in place, and there's not.
No.
So,
and it's just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if he leaves office and none of it happens, right? It's like they haven't even considered that possibility, and it's going to be their number one blind spot.
Oh, yeah, and all of my MAGA friends, they are 100% behind Rubio. That ought to tell you what you need to know. So, all right, Owen.
Who has no chance. Thank you for the call. All right, we'll take one more caller here. We're about to the end of the show. We do have some super chats to get to. I got a couple other odds and ends I may want to cover here before we sign off as well on a Monday transmission. Let's take our final caller here. What's your name? Where are you from?
Stacy from South Carolina.
Oh, Stacy in South Carolina. Okay, Stacy, it's going to be a fun one tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to vote, and it will be for Mark Lynch, the person who shouldn't even have to, second in line, right?
Should be that way.
Yep, so that's my plan tomorrow. So there's just so much to unpack for what you said today, from legacy for Trump would be betrayal, right? He betrayed all of us. Unless we don't know what the bigger plan is for him, which I don't really think there is one.
Hey, I said it. I'll say it again. If Trump comes out and pulls the greatest switcheroo ever and ends up exposing the deep state and, the whole QAnon plan, whatever ends up being real, I'll be the first one to celebrate. I'll be the first one to do a jig. I'll dance on my desk. I'll do a high leg kick. I'll wave the pom-poms. That's the day to do the jig. That's the day to go dance on the field and shake your butt around in celebration. When that day comes, I'll be there. And if people want to rub egg on my head because I was doubting Trump, I'll accept the egg. I'll eat all the egg. I'll eat all the crow. This is what I want. This is all I want. So it's like, it's some gotcha thing like, oh, Trump's going to prove you wrong. I hope he proves me wrong.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It's like, I'm for the truth like you are, and, logical thinking people. It's like, I want the country to succeed, whomever it is. I vote on policy, and every single thing he said, he has not done. So of course everyone's upset, or you say, well, I just want people to wake up. They're awake. They just are cowards. You're courageous. People are probably envious of your strength, your ability to fight and put the truth out there. It's like truth versus, cowardice. And, obviously you're a good looking guy. I mean, to say that making fun of you is just a jealousy thing. And beauty comes from within. I tell people that all the time, and it shines outwardly. So yeah, you might be physically good looking, but where does it come from? It comes from truth. It comes from strength and being a kind human being and caring about other people. So that's really as simple as life is, beauty is. And, the fact that we make war, war is an issue. I mean, I voted anti-war, totally. Like, I did not want war. Look at this. This is terrible. And the other thing, the AI, like, I'm a human. I want humanity to succeed. Why are we getting crushed by AI? But I will say to the people who sound hopeless is we can do something about it. We don't have to accept all of this, right? We don't have to accept it. I don't know how we're going to get ourselves out of it, because we believed in Trump and we thought he was the change. So maybe Tucker and Joe Kent and Thomas Massey and the true patriots, at least from what I see, and you, I mean, I can count how many people I can listen to. I've gone back and forth to listen to people, but it's like, I just want truth. I just want, and I think your average thinking individual wants that, the betterment for everybody, our country back. And maybe it's been going on so long.
What generation are you in? Are you a millennial? Are you a Gen Xer?
No one would believe me if I told them. I'm like, I'm just right at the boomer going on like 25 looks at.
Well, I say, I'm saying that the boomer blockade is starting to break. The boomer blockade is starting to break. It really is. And, I know we talk about the generational conflicts between younger conservatives and older conservatives a lot, and it is a good conversation, and I think the differences are pretty obvious. But generally speaking, I think we both believe, the direction the country needs to go. It's just a matter of, is that happening right now, or is it not, or what are the major issues stopping that from happening? And a lot of the times, younger generations have been kind of bashing heads with older generations about that. But specifically with the Trump support, I'm starting to see the boomers give. I really am. I'm starting to see the boomers give. And I think that to a certain degree, they understand that Trump is kind of their last gasp. And it's like, whatever Trump ends up doing with this is going to kind of be the political legacy of the boomers. And if Trump just ends up totally selling us out to the foreign lobby and the special interest, it's like, yeah, that seals the deal. That's pretty much boomer politics writ large right there. Government got taken over by foreign and special interests. And that's not even to be mean or attack the boomers. Look, you guys were lied to just like every other generation. Maybe you experienced more hardcore propaganda even than any other generation. And that could be a very true statement. I don't just say that. I mean, that really, I would say the boomers probably got hit hardest with the heaviest brainwashing weapons that they had at the time. And they were the first to deal with it, right? So they kind of had to go through that. But regardless of these conclusions, whether you agree or not, I think that the realization that Trump is kind of going to be the political legacy of the boomers is starting to sink in a little bit. And it's not good. It's not good. And so that's why I'm starting to see a lot more boomers that are kind of starting to lay down their guard and be like, yeah, okay, maybe Trump is not doing what we wanted him to do. The hope is starting to wane. The patience is starting to wane. I'm definitely seeing a lot more of that. And I think we're starting to hear it maybe even with the phone lines here. All right, thank you for the call, Stacy. Very kind words on the phone today. That's going to do it for the phone lines. We do have some super chats we need to get to here. But a couple odds and ends. Let me cover a couple odds and ends in the news before we do that. So AOC was in the news this weekend. Now, there's a couple things that people are talking about with the whole AOC video. In case you missed it, AOC, she showed a little skin this weekend. AOC was showing a little tummy, and she pulled up her shirt and stuck a needle in her gut because she is apparently freezing her eggs so that she can have children in the future. She was even asked if this has anything to do with a presidential run consideration, to which she did not deny. Well, my assumption has always been, and my first conclusion as to why AOC is lifting up her shirt and injecting herself or whatever procedure you have to do there to freeze your eggs, I said, my goodness, her husband is obviously gay. I mean, they've supposedly been engaged now. I guess they never tied the knots, and this will be relevant in a second. We always assumed that AOC's fiance was gay, Yeah, you got a little bit of a gaydar, is what they call it. It's like that guy, bing, bing, bing. So I just kind of figured, okay, the whole beard situation is not going well, and he's not going to impregnate. And maybe she wants it, maybe she doesn't, who knows. But it's like, all right, the gay guy's not going to impregnate her. Okay. And maybe he can't even physically do it. I don't know. Gay men have gotten married and had kids before, so it's not like it's impossible. But I think that was most people's response, was like, all right, AOC wants to get pregnant, but gay husband won't do it, so okay, she's doing this whole thing. Well, then I found this story. From the Free Beacon. House Ethics Committee slams AOC manipulation of rules to shield spouses' financial affairs from the public. AOC's partner, Riley Roberts, is a spouse to secure free gifts, but not when it comes to financial transparency. Now, Andrew Kerr, who has been doing great work as far as D.C. coverage is concerned for a long time, he's got the details in this Free Beacon story. But basically, there's this gray area. There's a gray area where if you're engaged but not married yet, you can kind of reap benefits, but you don't have to deal with transparency. So the theory is they're hiding something. The theory is they're not tying the knot because the minute they do, all of a sudden these financial records become both of them and not just his, separate from hers, and they don't have to abide by the same rules and regulations of transparency. So I'm sitting here thinking, because I know how DC works, she knew this story was coming out. So what are the odds that AOC knew this story was coming out and she said, I'm going to do a video to distract from this, or I'm going to lift my shirt up and, do this video to distract from this because she knew this story was about to drop? Does that sound too far-fetched or right on the money? Because she also claimed, and this is where I started to actually kind of furrow my brow, she claims that she's been saving up for a long time. Now, apparently the procedure was $8,000, and, money's tight these days. Okay, maybe it's tight for AOC. I don't know. I think her congressional salary is like $156,000 a year. I don't know. Maybe she's making some other money. She's got a fiance that's probably, is he making any money? But she pretends like she's kind of really playing this one close to the chest. She had to save up for all these years. I don't know. Doesn't really add up for me. I'm thinking this was an ethics conversation about me and my fiance is about to come out. I'm going to lift up my shirt and I'm going to do an egg freezing video to distract from it. That's my conspiracy theory. I couldn't help but wonder. And by the way, they're talking about this. I mentioned the Hassan Piker clip, and it was a big conversation this weekend. But you've got CNN that are now concerned about Hassan Piker. They're doing segments concerned about Piker campaigning with Democrats for the obvious reasons. And they're saying, well, this would be like if Republicans started campaigning with Nick Fuentes. And I'm sitting here shaking my head saying, exactly. So why aren't the Republicans doing it? Because they're cowards. It has nothing to do with ethics. Don't for 1 second think that the Republicans are making some ethical issue to gatekeep far-right people out of the Republican Party, especially in response to the far left taking over the Democrat Party. This has nothing to do with ethics and morals. These are unethical, immoral people. Look at the wars they support. Give me a break. But it's a bad move, really. Letting the Democrats tap into the radical left. But as the Republicans, they're going to reject what they might consider the radical right. It's just stupid. And now you're creating bitter, obstinate people who are disenfranchised and feeling rejected who will go vote for Democrats now. Again, I'm not saying I'm voting for Democrat. They'll clip this out and say, Schroyer's voting for Democrats, and then the attacks will come again. Whatever. I don't even care. You guys want to stop Democrats from getting into office? Tell Trump to do what he promised. Until then, I guess we'll just keep triggering you with the truth. By the way, another flock story gone bad. Police stop car thought to be wanted in a Milwaukee homicide, but the flock camera gave them bad info. This resulted in a standoff on the middle of a Milwaukee highway, guns drawn and everything. Huge scene, and the flock camera gave them the wrong guy. Nice. Guys, there was a election in Colombia. Did you hear about the election in Colombia? Big election in Colombia. Let's go to the inauguration ceremony. Shall we? Would you like to hear the Colombian inauguration ceremony for their new president?
Y digamos amén. Viva Colombia y viva Israel.
Viva Israel at the presidential inauguration in Colombia. Boy, that's interesting. Why does that keep happening? Strange. Isn't that a little strange? Oh, man, I didn't get into the whole THC laws in Texas. They're crazy now. You can do more time in Texas for having marijuana products than molesting a kid now. That's how insane that is. Did you guys hear about that video of this guy going around harassing? It's not even all white women, but it's non-black women. There have been some Asians, some Hispanics, mostly white women. Daquan Hunt. You may have seen these videos. He's going around bashing these women, threatening these women on the streets. And, yeah, here's his priors. Can I even count that many? 14 priors. I can barely even count to 14. That's how many priors this guy has had. What are we doing? Why do we have judges that put these criminals back out on the streets? It's just insane. Oh, I forgot to mention, before Dan Patrick pushed for that statewide THC ban and these new laws, he took $350,000 from Silver Eagle Beverages and $50,000 from the Beer Alliance of Texas. So in other words, the Texas politicians here, Republicans, they're taking money from the alcohol industry to ban THC products. Now, I don't care whatever you think about THC or marijuana or whatever you think about the laws. That is just cold corruption right there. That is just cold, hard political corruption. Do you drive a BMW? BMW owners outraged by Spider-Man ads that popped up on their dashboard screens. We need ad blockers for cars. So now you're driving your car. By the way, California 2035, combustion engines are illegal. Starting 2027, all cars made in America have to have a surveillance system in them. And now you're getting ads. I swear, this summer's movie list has been like a throwback. Guys, Toy Story did really well. So you got Toy Story 5. You've got Jackass. They just announced a Super Troopers. It's like all these throwback movies. Spider-Man is the number one thing. I know I'm missing another throwback. Oh, Scary Movie. What's up with all the scary movies happening? What's up with all the remakes happening? By the way, early movie review for you. Movie review for you here. I gotta say, I see a lot of people telling you that Project Hail Mary was a good movie. That movie sucked. That movie outright sucked. And I feel almost inappropriate telling you that because I haven't finished it yet, but that's how bad it is. I can't even finish this movie. I don't understand anybody that enjoyed this movie. I'm a sucker for sci-fi. I'm a sucker for space sci-fi. I'm a sucker for alien sci-fi. I'm even kind of a sucker for Ryan Gosling, I got to tell you. This movie sucked. And I got to give it to Ryan Gosling. He really did everything he could. Ryan did everything humanly possible with that role that is just a total flatliner. I mean, just a total flop. I won't even do the spoiler alert. I'm just going to tell you, just avoid it. I would say the new Beetlejuice movie, not good. The new Hail Mary movie, not good. I mean, Beetlejuice, if you want to watch it because you like the original, okay, maybe. The Project Hail Mary, horrible. Just horrible. Anything else we want to get off here? No, probably not. Probably just call it a day here and get to our super chats. You know what? Let me just do this for you. Let me just give you some advice. I saw this video from a pool over the weekend, okay? And a big fight broke out here. And, they want to make it a race thing, and, maybe there is a racial aspect to this. But I just want to say this, just generally speaking, okay? If you're ever out in public, because I see this, and I see people with no survival instincts is what I see. If you're ever out in a big public area like this and a bunch of people start bum rushing towards one part and you're anywhere within eye distance of it, within eyesight of it, you need to get the hell out of there. What I see is a bunch of people right here with no survival instincts. Okay? Trust me. This could save your life. I'm not even kidding you. If you ever see a situation like this happening and everybody bum rushing an area and it looks like a fight or commotion or something bad could happen, everybody here standing around, you have no survival instincts. You have even less if you're running into it. You have less than no survival instincts if you're actually running into that. Folks, if you ever see, get the hell out of there. Get out. Trust me. Just get out. It ain't worth sticking around. All right? So some friendly advice for today we send you off with. All right, let's go into our super chats before we sign off. Alex McCarthy leading us off. His wife is from Italy, and she's not a fan of the tasty fluoride in St. Louis's water. And St. Louis has actually some of the best water. So she doesn't like the fluoride. As renters, they installed a reverse osmosis systems, or they're not. Oh, they're not an option because you rent. Got you. And since Kangen systems don't remove it, we spend hundreds of dollars on bottles. Finally got Cove Pure in May and love it. Alex McCarthy. God love him. Congratulations. You and your beautiful wife got a Cove Pure water filtration system. Total victory. Total husband victory. Jose Consuela, do you find a content creator more trustworthy if they are anti-Jew, anti-Muslim, or anti-both? It seems the last is rare. Well, boy, that is a difficult one. I don't really like the direction of anti either one of them. I just like pro-truth, pro-honesty, and pro-logical consistency. That's what I ask for. I don't think a Jewish person, if I have a Jewish neighbor, I don't think he should be blamed because Mark Levin is a total traitor on Fox News, It's like if I have a friend that I like to play basketball with that's Jewish, do I hear Netanyahu or Ben Gvir say something and I say, hey, you? No, that's ridiculous. Well, it should be a similar standard with Muslims. Now, Muslims, it's a little different because of, 9/11 and all the post-9/11 propaganda. But the one thing I will say is if you're only willing to call out one and not the other, then I think you're a fraud or you're just totally brainwashed. And obviously we see a lot. It's like it's perfectly socially acceptable. It's even promoted that you hate Muslims and bash Muslims, but of course that same logic does not apply to Jews. And so that's when you reach the logical conclusion, hey, Muslims don't control our country. You can take it from there. Wooded Bagley, we got to see Owen Schroyer's beaver before Bridget Macron's. Somebody call Candace. It's a groundhog. You bastard. The MAGA cult is broken, not you. Following you online since 2016. I've never seen anyone on the internet with more integrity than you. Thank you, Ivan. We try to keep things consistent, if nothing else. Good Goyard. What? Royce White is Legion now. I'm telling you, man, I love it. I'm cheering for Enos Cantor. I'm cheering for Royce White. You know, guys, I think I might have a little left in the tank. I might have a little left in the tank to go WNBA. You know, I think we might, you know, it might be time to fully invade. And I've already got the hair too, you know. I don't have to put on a wig. I've already got the hair. What do you think? I was thinking about, what if I started wearing it like this? You know, kind of like Orlando Bloom used to do in the early 2000s. What do you guys think about that? Could I ball in the WNBA like that? I'm cheering for Enos Cantor. I'm cheering for Royce White. It's almost like you knew this was going to have to happen. And I wonder if or when the WNBA is going to actually stop it, or if they're going to be forced to say, okay, we believe in transgenderism, and so I guess they get to play. Who are we to judge? Ho, ho, ho! Hey, listen to me. Listen. Whenever, if Royce White and if Enos Cantor are eligible for the WNBA, I am going to be watching that WNBA draft. And whatever teams draft them, I'm immediately betting to win the title. Like, immediately, it's on. I'll go all in. I'll pull out everything I have in the stock market. I'll go all in on both of those teams to win the championship. One of them is going to win. I don't know which one I would favor in that matchup. I think, you know, Cantor has a size advantage. You know, both of them are obviously great athletes, played in the NBA. I don't know if you could really say one of them has an athletic advantage. Right, Royce White is a bit more of an agile player. He can do more on the court, but Cantor does have the size advantage. The big frame might be unstoppable. But you bet both. You know, that's what you do. You bet both. Who do you think goes number one? Hey, golly gee, I wonder who's going to go number one in this year's WNBA draft. Is it literally every woman on the board or the man? Which one do you think goes first? Let go of Trump or be dragged down into hell with him. Just like the Wokies, they're gone, Owen. Gone. Telling you, it's very similar, very common. Alex goes to take on New MAGA and comes back today, and we're back to we have to focus on more the good Trump is doing. What good? Am I crazy? I don't know. I didn't see any of that. I don't follow any of that. So whatever, he can make his case. Employ strong for life. Missed the show. Been on a path. Sending my support because your path is important and we see your great work. You look great. A young Brad Pitt. Whoa. Hey. What's up? Christ is King, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Find his grace. Thank you. You want to be a young Angelina Jolie? Make it happen? F. Roger Stone. Boy, they're getting it today. They're getting it today. And this is, guys, this is what I've been warning. This is what I've been warning. I don't know what it is. I don't know if these people don't have any social lives. They don't have any friends. I don't know what it is. Folks, this has been going on for a long time, man. I'm telling you. I've been saying it for months. This is it. Like, people are pissed, man. The righteous indignation against the Trump administration and those that carry water for it, it's I don't know how many people express it like I do. Maybe nobody, and maybe that's why I get such incoming, but it's very real. In fact, I would almost guarantee you, I've got my normal events tonight. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to hear about Roger Stone and whatever the hell happened in gargling Trump today. I can almost guarantee it. Because that's all I get when I go out in public. Everybody is pissed off at this administration. Everybody feels like this administration has been nothing but betrayal. It's almost impossible to find somebody out in public that doesn't feel that way in the year 2026. Fat Tonys, we Canadians are nasty. I know one specifically that I dated for a minute in Austin, but that's a different story. Wonder what happened to her. That's a funny one. Samantha Lee Jones, I'm with you, Owen. I feel the same way as you with every rant. I really think that Trump has to be impeached ASAP or we are toast. He's lost his mind. Joshua Hobenstack, the Schroyer Samurai need to unite with the bacon cheeseburger nationalists. We are one and the same only because the bacon cheeseburger nationalists love firearms a little more and you guys like sports ball a little more. Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis. Kyle, definitely way more proficient on guns and that stuff than I am. And I'm probably way more proficient on sports and sports news than he is. I think that's fair. It's a fair balance. That's a good balance. It's a good yin and yang balance. I can dig that. Hank Johnson, 2028, save Guam. I love it. Let's get him in there. I think I might trust Hank more than anybody. I think Hank might be the answer, actually, guys. Get him in there. I'd rather have a guy that thinks island floats than a guy that sells us out to foreign countries. But he probably takes the AIPAC money, too, so what the hell? Don't let them get you down, Owen. No, guys. I promise you, me as a person, I am never down. I love life. I am never down. Always loving life no matter what. I feel incredibly blessed every day. And this is why I'll probably be saying this more often, and maybe we'll kind of hone in on the right phrase here. But basically, it's like, look, covering politics or talking about the political world, you have to be able to separate that from the world you enjoy. This is my opinion. Some people might view it differently, but this is how I do it. I can sit here, I can talk politics, the bad, the good, whatever, get feisty about it, get nasty about it. But it's like, yeah, I'll complain about politics all day long because politics sucks, it's corrupt, we have all these issues. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy life. And I understand the juxtaposition seems impossible when all you do is consume my political content all day, and that's what you know me as. That's who you know. That's what you know. Believe me, I enjoy life plenty. And in fact, part of it is like, that's kind of why I want to branch out and do more live streams. But then it starts to ruin that. It's like, now it's like even the stuff that you do to enjoy life becomes bottled up into the politics too. And it's like, I kind of want to avoid doing that even though I feel like maybe sometimes I need to. I'm not getting down. Trust me. There's no getting down here. If anything, I'm getting down because politically, we fought so hard for this, and now we're here, and it's all been turned against us. That's what gets me down. Doesn't affect my personal, private life at all. I love life. I have a great life. I love my family. I love my friends. I'm very blessed. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I got a roof over my head. I got a fridge full of food. I got a car that starts. That's all I need. So I'm very happy. I don't get down with these people. What gets me down is that they are being deceived. What gets me down is that they are being brainwashed. What gets me down is that the continued deception of my fellow Americans is destroying my country and my country's future. That's what gets me down. Parker Isham. Owen, with a face like that, you don't have to worry about your hair. Haters gonna be haters. Probably pot-bellied baldies. That seems very specific. Boy, oh boy. They're laughing at us all over the place at their conferences and meetings. The future is not human, and the future isn't for us and our families. What are they going to do to us? What will Trump do to us next? Drewsterman, thought on the Pentagon putting Israel at rank 5 for espionage a month ago, even though Israel is embedded deep in the White House and Trump. Is there a war raging internally, or is it Q? Honestly, I think Trump is totally separated from everything White House. I think Trump operates in his own world. So the normal protocols, you know, the checks and balances, the top-down flow and the procedures of DC politics, I don't think Trump engages in any of that. I think Trump does his own thing all the time, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, he's probably got all these people in there telling him, hey, you know, Trump, Israel's spying on you. Israel's lying to you. Israel's giving you bad information, all the same stuff. And he just doesn't care. He's like, oh, I do my own thing. I run my own office. I run my own White House. But it's like, wow, Israel has influence in Washington, D.C.? Whoa, that's a shocker. I never saw that coming. Trump is garbage, old news. Caller dead on. Biden always part of the plan. Where is Joe Biden these days? Time to dust him off. Dust off old Joe. Bongino spent years warning about AI. What happened? I have no idea. Does anybody know what Bongino was doing? You know, and actually, I was thinking about that the other day, too. And it gets back to the entire thrust, which is Dan Bongino spent 8 years telling his audience about all of the crimes committed in the Barack Obama administration, and then again in the Biden administration. And then he was number 2 at the FBI, and no one has been arrested. And he goes back on his show, and he attacks right-wingers that actually want to see justice and promises made, promises kept. I don't know. I don't hear anything about Bongino anymore. So, I mean, I assume he's still doing a show, but I don't see or hear it anymore. Thomas from Jacksonville here. 8 more days to spread the fish. Let's not say it like that. So the Florida primary is next week. Love Alex, but pay attention to truth tellers still pushing tribalism. Alex Stein wants those eggs. And maybe he has a right, you know? Maybe Alex Stein has a right to claim these eggs. If Mr. AOC is not going to come to the table, if Mr. AOC cannot penetrate and deliver, then maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to tap somebody in here that can get the job done. What a waste. What a waste. You know, by the way, not to get too out there, because we're kind of joking about the AOC thing, but, you know, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I forget what it was that made me think of this. But really, like, our society is so backwards now. And feminism is maybe like the best example of that. And I'm not trying to claim that one way is better or whatever. I'm just like, what is natural? What is intuitive? What is instinctual? And we used to really, maybe even until recently, everything was always centered around children. If you think about it, everything. Why did we protect the women? Why did we, nurture the women? Whatever you say, keep them at home in the kitchen. It wasn't like that. It was like, why did we keep the women, nurtured and the home carers? And why did we do that? Because women have children, and we want women to have children, and we want women to have a lot of children, and we want women to raise children, and we want women to raise communities of children. And so it was all about protecting the woman because she's the child bearer. It wasn't because that's all she's good for. No, it's because women can have kids, men can't. We cherish that. Maybe the most important thing of all humanity is women having children. Maybe number one. It's like, what is the most important thing about humanity? Probably women having children, probably number one. And we used to treat it that way. Even to the extent where, and this is where maybe some issues come into play, but even to the extent where married couples who hated each other would stay together just because of the children. Maybe you think it's good, maybe you think it's bad. This would happen. Now, none of this is happening. Now, women don't even want to own the incredible gift that they have uniquely to bring life into this world. Now we send women out to work all the time. It's really weird. It's really weird how jacked up that actually is. So here's poor AOC. Has to freeze her eggs because somebody just can't get the job done. Somebody can't rise to the occasion. Really all messed up. Gladiator girl, she knows. X is full of children and too much brain rot. Just keep being the truth warrior you are. By the way, hair over baldness every time. Thank you, Gladiator girl. You know, originally I thought maybe you were like a 6 foot tall, you know, like Gladiator woman, but I guess you're talking about your Jeep there. We'll take that too. DZ, zero survival instincts, MAGA not moving while being shot out in Butler, Pennsylvania. Look at Charlie Kirk people were stampeded out of there. Butler, no one moves. I don't know if that's a fair comparison. I think there's too many unknown factors to reach a conclusion about those two events. Vids of Doug, thanks for reviewing He-Man. Seen it 4 times since debut. Well, how about that? I told you it was a good one. Told you He-Man was good, and I knew you'd enjoy it. I'll never let you down. Pack American Pious Knight, Ezekiel 9:9. The sin of the house of Israel and Judah is extremely great. The land is full of murder, and the city is full of injustice. They will ban that Bible verse if they can. They already tried. And we conveyed to the children of Israel in the scripture that you will surely cause corruption on the earth twice, and you will surely reach a degree of great haughtiness. Quran 17:4. Whoa. Did I say that wrong? Last time I said Quran, I said it wrong. I probably said it wrong again, and they ripped me for it for a while. So that's fine. I guess I've added again. Test, first time super chat. It only lets me send $1.99. Timothy McLaughlin. We talked, Timothy. I got your email the other day. Appreciate that. Does Vault. I know it's 2030 and we're all in concentration camps right now, but Trump's is definitely playing 5D chess. Yeah. Gas is $25 a gallon, guys. It's Trump's 70 chess. Come on now. Timothy, hey, thank you, brother. It's good to hear from you. Appreciate you reaching out and giving me a little expertise in your field, if you will. Hopefully we'll have an update on that soon. Trying to move fast on that before the end of summer, but still got to crunch some other numbers and get some things done. We're talking about the new studio is what we're talking about. All right, that is going to do it for today's transmission. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate all the super chats. We'll take a 20.5-hour break. Somebody tell StreamYard to get their act together. It would be nice. We can work around it if we have to. We'll see. We talked to some people at Rumble today about using Rumble Studios, and they wanted to kind of work with me for any potential improvements. So that could happen. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see if StreamYard ever wants to fix their shit or what we have to do in the future. But I think we carry on just fine. And it kind of forces me to go to the phone calls, which I've been needing to do anyway. So it's kind of a nice little unintentional forcing of me taking more calls, which have been great lately. We like the callers. I'd like to see more coming in. So we'll keep doing that. We'll take a 20.5-hour break. Same time, same channel tomorrow. God bless. Godspeed.